And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show. And I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got to talk about that debate. We got to run that one back and go over a few things from there. There's also a little bit of drama coming from the debate. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the New York City migrant crisis rages on. They have an illegal alien from Venezuela shooting 2 officers, and he says, hey, that's what we do in Venezuela as part of gangs. We're bringing that same culture here and more. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Tucker Carlson destroyed a woke reporter out there in Australia, which was an amazing thing to see. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Jamaal Bowman went ahead and lost his race out there in New York. One of the most expensive races ever, and I'm glad that he lost it because he most certainly deserved to do so. And the mainstream media, they're really, really worried about Joe Biden. They saw that performance and they're like, man, get this man off the stage. Please replace him. Put Gavin Newsom in there. Maybe even Kamala Harris, who, quite frankly, doesn't really sound that much better than a Nancy Pelosi. Is she 54 or 88? I can't tell. We got a whole lot of things to talk about tonight, and a lot more that I've not listed only on ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to you guys for joining me all throughout the week on the live streams. I did one Sunday. I did a regular one Wednesday. Then I was here on yesterday on, not yesterday, pardon me, on Thursday. Now we're back on Saturday. So shout out to you guys who were here for all of them. If you're here for just this one or whatever it is, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to. That'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. We have quite a few videos to review, quite a few things to discuss, and I know later in the show we're going to get into calls about the debate. That debate, oh my goodness! I mean, it was so crazy. Even your regular leftists couldn't ignore it. And it's funny seeing a lot of leftists like a Jon Stewart coming out here acting crazy. Oh, I'm gonna show that one because that was crazy. Like, I don't know what their plan is. I don't think there is a plan. I think they're just gonna do whatever they can on the mainstream media level to get money out of the situation by trying to appeal to their audience, talking about, oh, I'm so shocked and I'm so this, that, and the third. Man, you're not shocked at all. You knew this man was barely able to put sentences together from the beginning. You knew that years ago. You knew that during the Obama administration, and this guy was pretty much toast mentally, okay? Everybody knew that, and it's just gotten worse. It's not going to get any better. You put this man in the basement in 2020 because y'all knew he couldn't be out there running. It would have been like Hillary Clinton when she was out there, barely able to get from point A to point B, barely able to walk from the curb to her vehicle. What kind of person is that if you're trying to be the president? You're barely even mobile. If you're barely mobile and you're barely able to communicate, how are you going to be the leader of the free world? What type of nonsense is this? But see, they think that we're dumb, that we can't see what we see in front of us. You see this immobile elderly person trying to be the president. Why would that be our choice? It doesn't make any sense. But they want to gaslight you and say, hey, nah, he's really good. He's spry and we got to get ready for him. Please, man. That man ain't getting ready for nothing other than a nice warm blankie and an applesauce at the end of the day, period. I'm getting triggered. So before I go any further into it, shout out to you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. And thank you to Otto1303 who says, ABL, seriously appreciate your debate stream. You allowed the participants to speak without interruption and interjected at the proper times. Excellent job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want it to be something that you guys would appreciate watching. I know we're watching the debate together. I'm not trying to overshadow the debaters because that's why we're here, for that purpose. When I have a break in the action, when there is no debate, a commercial or whatever, I'll give my 2 cents. And at the end of it, I'll talk a little bit and then I do a nice and succinct summary video at the end, 10 to 15 minutes, ain't taking too much of your time. I think about you guys, and I value your time, and I value what you got going on in your life to make videos that you can consume in the best way possible. Because it ain't just about me. You know, I want to do things that will be able to get the message to everybody, regardless of where you are. If you might not even be English as a first language speaker. I want to get to everybody that is concerned about the USA. All right. So shout out to you guys. I really appreciate y'all for watching that stream and all my other streams and my other videos. I really, really do. All right. So we got a lot to get to. A lot of videos, a lot of reviews, a lot of reactions to the debate and whatnot. But y'all know how I do first things first. Shout out to patriotpost.us. Your best source of news and information. Their link will always be in the description, or just type in patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also go to ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Check it out. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. We have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, you got sources from the left, from the right, from the politically agnostic, from local, national, international, whatever you need. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And as I always say, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, my email address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, is all right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And as I always say, please don't get scammed, because the scammers are out here. The scammers are real. We might cover a scammer later, allegedly. I'm not trying to put nothing out there that the guy might be a scammer, but I'm not really convinced of the story, but I'm getting ahead of myself. If you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me or not, just double check, cross-reference the method of communication on the contact page. My email is very easy, contact@anthonyblogan.com. If it's anything other than that talking at you, it's not me. I don't have a 1,982-digit WhatsApp number. You're not going to be texting me. You're not going to be sending me iTunes gift cards. You're not going to be sending me anything of the sort. If you want to support the channel financially, there's super chat links right here. There's Cash App. Everything is right here contained within the video. If you're looking at comments and stuff like this, you're looking in the wrong place. But shout out to you guys. I really, really appreciate y'all. We got a whole lot going on. There is a lot happening. Vampire, I may need to do a video on Dr. Disrespect. I've been watching this. I need to do a video on him because that whole thing was crazy. So this guy, Dr. Disrespect, a Twitch streamer, if you guys don't know, I'm going to talk about it briefly because this has been kind of going around. And if anything, this is going to be a lesson for parents that have kids that are accessing devices, playing video games and whatnot. You got to be vigilant because you have adults sometimes that are contacting your children through these games. Like I think Roblox, there was a situation where you have sometimes adults chatting with children on a game like Roblox. Yes, Roblox. There is a chat function where sometimes adults may speak to your children about what, I don't know, but it doesn't even really matter because why, as an adult, are you speaking to children? Like, what's going on? If that's not your children or your nieces and nephews or something like that, why are you talking to them? Even if it's my niece or my nephew, I'm not texting them on Roblox. I'm just not doing it. But anyway, so this guy, big streamer, real tall, 6'7", married, kids, the whole 9 yards. He was a big streamer on Twitch. Back in 2020, he was abruptly terminated from his job, well, from his position, from his contract, 7-figure contract, abruptly suspended. They're like, hey, what's going on? What's wrong? It was never revealed why he was taken off of Twitch. He's still a big streamer, but now it's coming to an end. He was on YouTube. They demonetized him like today. So he's pretty much done in this space. Now, what happened was he used a messaging function on Twitch. And if you don't know what Twitch is, it's like YouTube, but they are supposed to focus more on gaming. But the last I heard, it's a bunch of showgirls on there looking like New York City Times Square in 1975. I can't tell what's going on. But anyway, so what he did was message minors on Twitch. Okay. And that came out because a former employee leaked it years later. Maybe the employee just said, okay, I'm not on an NDA anymore. I can't be hurt for releasing the information. Ain't nobody going to sue me, blah, 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 blah. So it was allegedly an underage girl that he was trying to meet up with at TwitchCon, which is, you know, Twitch's little event where they have people come in, influencers, fans, or whatever. Okay. So again, this guy, multi-millionaire from streaming, now he's toast because of what he was doing. So to the parents out there, be careful because it might be this dude right here. Okay. And the crazy part is that this is a very popular streamer. So it's not just any old person. Imagine you have this blue check celebrity basically in your daughter's DMs. She's 14 years old. How are you going to handle that? You got to be on top of all their communication because this kind of thing can't go on. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. Okay, we got a whole lot going on here. There is a lot happening. Let me just show some stuff here. Sharon Stone has a message for female voters. I've not watched this. I want to see it live with you guys. I want to see what direction this goes in. Are we going to go on super far left, or are we going to go all the way to the right? Like, what is she going to say here? Let's check it out.
I've been thinking a lot about last night's debate, and I've been thinking about the fact that more women are registered to vote than any other singular group. So ladies, remember this. No matter how sleepy Joe may have seemed, he's wide awake for you. So vote.
Okie dokie. So what do you guys think? Do you think Sharon Stone is convincing? Do you think that her words are ringing true? Hey, you know what? Look, don't even worry about it. I know he seemed sleepy. I know he seemed like he wasn't even really there. He was barely able to articulate himself at all. Whispering, barely an audible octave was spoken during the debate. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Just go out there and vote for him anyway, because he might be asleep, but he's awake for you. How corny. How corny. You know what I'm tired of? You know what grinds my gears? Actors who have political opinions. Actors with political opinions. Sometimes I agree with their political opinion. I'm not going to lie to you. But usually I don't. I was watching this. Hold on. I got to show you guys this one. This was crazy. Hold on. Jon Stewart. Oh, my goodness. You couldn't be any more cornier of an actor. You put me in there, I could do a better job acting than this guy. And I'm no actor. I'm just a regular normie out here in these streets. All right. Let's check this out. Now, here is his reaction to the debate.
Because this cannot be real life. It just can't. We're America. God. Because.
Okay, so there's actually a lot here. In this very short clip, there's a lot. First of all, fake outrage. I'm not buying it. All right. I'm not really buying it. It's not really connecting to me. It's not really doing it for me. If you want to put on a convincing performance, this ain't it. That's the first thing. The second thing, did you guys catch what he tried to do? Is y'all see that? Okay, we're going to slam the paper down. You know, real aggressive. Oh, I'm slamming office supplies. Oh, I'm so upset. I'm slamming, what they call that? What they call stationery. I'm slamming a stationery on the desk. And then watch what he does after that.
We're America. God.
He's trying to tear the paper and can't do it. Sir, like, I'm not buying your outrage. I'm not buying your tough guy. You can't even rip a sheet of paper. My man, like, can we do a little bit upper body strength, a little push-ups, a little weightlifting, something, man? Good. My man, like, I know you're not necessarily a spring chicken, but you're not that old to where you cannot tear a sheet of paper. I mean, what in the world? We're not asking you to do the Hollywood Hogan t-shirt pull, we're not asking you for that. We're talking about stationery you got from the teacher store, from Office Depot, et cetera, et cetera. You can't tear that. Doc, I'm not really buying it. I'm just not really buying it, man. Come on, what are we doing? So yeah, that was Jon Stewart on The Daily Show expressing his concern about the actual debate here. Okay. Now, this video comes from a barbershop in Atlanta. Okay, let's back up a little bit. So y'all know that Trump and Biden were in Atlanta for the debate at the CNN studios. Well, there was kind of a pit stop or a campaign stop at a barbershop for Trump. I believe Byron Scott was there. Ben Carlson was there. It was a pretty big event. Now, let me tell you what I know about political events like this featuring Ben Carlson. Like, you got to have it planned out pretty well. Trump was not there, but Trump spoke on the phone to the people that were in the audit in the barbershop. But to have an event like this featuring people in the federal government, like, you got to have security be on point. It's got to be planned properly. People got to show up at a certain time. You can't just do this haphazardly, meaning it's hard to have an event like this and the proprietor of the business not know exactly what's going on. They're going to approach you and say, hey, we want to have an event here. It's for X, Y, and Z, and we need to know who's going to be here and get some background checks, perhaps. It needs to be a secure environment. So the bottom line is, you're not going to have an event at a barbershop and the owner not be aware of what's going on before it happens when you're talking about the federales coming in. That's just not how that goes. But let's see what he says. He feels like he was duped by Trump and his people. Check it out.
At 6, the owner of Rocky's Barbershop in Atlanta says he feels he was misled by a campaign event for former President Trump the day before the debate. Rocky Jones tells our Karis Belger he thought his Buckhead shop was just hosting a forum for black businesses, but he says he never expected to fade into the realm of politics.
To me, cutting hair is like an art.
And smooth waves are not the only thing Rocky Jones wants his shop to be known for.
We try to specialize in just giving good service to the community. As you can see, I've been here since 17 years and it's been good.
Which is why he jumped at the chance to help other black business owners get ahead.
Started with a text, then it went to a call because I was actually out the country. And just me agreeing to do a black small business, round table. I thought it was like something real private.
It was anything but. Rocky, along with black business owners from across Metro Atlanta, crammed into his shop, along with Trump surrogates like Ben Carlson. But it wasn't all shop talk.
Now let's pause right here. Let's pause right here. So the guy trying to say that he was misled, talking about, it was going to be a black business expo, and I thought it was going to be private. But my man, you have a sign in your shop that says Black Americans for Trump 2024. So I don't understand. I don't get it. I think what's happening is pretty clear. He's facing retribution from the general public. They're calling this shop angry. They're probably threatening him and things of this nature. Okay. Or it could be a scam because he got paid beforehand. He's offering now to get the money back, but I don't see that happening. I think what's really going on is that he's facing retribution, facing kickback, and he doesn't like what's going on. Now all of a sudden, it's not me. I didn't do it. That's my opinion, but I could be wrong.
Thinking about black business in Atlanta, small black businesses in Atlanta. And I'm like, okay, so when are we going to start talking about this?
He says a call from former President Trump during the event cut deep.
Why is the ex-president calling somebody in my barbershop? This has nothing to do with small black businesses.
And he was left with a lot more than razor burn.
We had some calls. Thursday, we definitely got some calls, some backlash, some angry people that don't.
Of course, they're gonna be upset. They don't know you. They're angry because they don't like to see black folks think for themselves. You gotta just do one thing and one thing only. You do something else outside of that, then it's a problem. That's just really it. So, I mean, really, look, man, when you do stuff like this, to anybody out there that's listening, when you do stuff like this, you got to stand on it, man. You know you're going to have some kickback, some haters and whatnot. Just tell them what you did. I said what I said. They want to challenge you. Oh, ABL, you said this and you did that. Yeah, I did it. So what? What's next? What's going to happen? Anybody going to do nothing to me? I'm doing the right thing. That's all that matters, period. Don't worry about all the outside stuff, okay? And you living in Georgia, you can get whatever kind of firearm you want. And if somebody want to come to your barbershop and crazy, you already know what to do. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm not advocating violence. What I'm saying is just protect yourself and stand up for what's right all the time. If you do what's right and stand up for what's right, don't even worry about it. Whatever kind of violence comes your way, be prepared to handle your business if you have to.
Don't know me, and I have to deal with that. I have no involvement in politics. We don't even talk politics in my barbershop. It's all sports. Commend everybody to vote, but that's your business. You know, I don't tell you what to do.
The number of customers, he says, has trimmed down, but he hopes the shock will fade and he can keep helping his community. Kara Spelger, 11 Alive News.
So there it is. But yeah, shout out to him though, man. Look, anybody that does anything like that, you got to stand on what you believe in, man. Don't let anybody try to back you down. Don't let anybody intimidate you or threaten you or nothing like that. Don't do it. Because that's part of the problem now in society where people just do whatever they want and nobody's kicking back. Like the Just Oil people. Okay, look, I don't need you to be on the ground right now when I'm trying to get from point A to point B. It's the morning time. Let's say I got 9 to 5 job. It's the morning time. You're in the way. I'm going to be late. You're messing up the money. I'm getting paid hourly. If I'm not there, I'm not getting paid. You're in the way. Okay, you just got to get out the way. And at a certain point, you can't just let them stay there. You have to get them up off the road. And then when they get off the road, they need to go to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little rocks. Have some accountability. Have some consequence to your action rather than just letting them do whatever. Now, speaking about a little bit of accountability, we have some Just Oil activists getting arrested. And like I said, I hope they go to the Who's Goo, to the penitentiary, to the clink, to the land down under, and don't come back for a little while until they learn a lesson. But check this out. I'm not sure where this is exactly, as far as like what part of the world, what country, because it's probably not the USA looking at the architecture. But let's see how this whole thing goes.
You're under arrest on suspicion of partaking in a conspiracy to interfere key national infrastructure.
This looks like UK with the way their hats are and how they're sounding.
The grounds are that information has been received by police which indicate that you're a part of a plot to cause serious disruption to UK airports.
So we got the UK police in, doing a little bit of raid, going through some books, trying to find some stuff. I'm going to turn the sound down. All right. They said people hide stuff from all sorts of places. So they're trying to find if they're trying to hide any weapons or whatever. All right. Let me turn the sound back on.
You got the cereal.
Now, an observation, not a critique, but an observation, because I might be a little bit ignorant when it comes to the culture of UK, but don't these cops come off kind of soft? It's like, I don't know. It's not really a big deal. Maybe it's not really a big deal, but I don't know. It's just not really a sense of urgency. It's kind of just like, oh, how are you? It's Proper Sunday. Let's search your house right quick. And it just kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's just UK. It's not as violent as over here sometimes.
I think they just, I understand them.
Alright, Dan. Catch you later.
Love you.
Love you too.
So I think the guy that's saying catch you later, I think he's actually being arrested. All right. So yeah, shout out to them. Hopefully they actually get arrested and some things happen over there, I believe in UK. Yeah, man, you do stuff like that, sitting on the road, and also where they spraying some of the priceless artwork. I'm glad they have the priceless artwork behind glass so it's protected. But I saw some ladies trying to like chisel open some glass. They weren't going to actually be successful. These ladies were like 100 years old each trying to chisel in the glass. But still, it's like, what's going on? What are we doing? All right. Now, let's go to Chicago. This lady's shot was vandalized 3 times, and she's blaming racism. I don't know about that, but let's see.
It was a guy.
All right, let's see what's going on. Let's not have Juicy Smouye 2.0. I don't want to hear about no big bodybuilding Nigerian that's 6'8", as a so-called white man. I don't want to hear about that. And you know what was crazy is that sometimes racial incidents do happen. Sometimes what you may call a hate crime may happen. Sometimes these things go on. But whenever you hear about it in the news, it's so often, almost always proven to be a hoax, to the point where whenever you hear about a thing like that, you're going to automatically think that's fake.
It was a guy on a bike who just rode past and punched the window. The one before that, it was a guy who rode up and threw a rock through my window, and it shattered the whole window. So it's really an ongoing occurrence. I feel like it needs to be heard and seen.
Whitney Cumbo started her small business 5 years ago alongside her sister. They chose the Bridgeport neighborhood because it was close to where they grew up, and she says it feels like home. But lately, she feels like she's being pushed out because of...
Now, this is Bridgeport in, I guess, Chicago area. Pardon my ignorance, but she's saying that she's being driven out and there's racism going on. Now, I don't know where this is in Chicago. Y'all give me a little bit of insight. What kind of area is Bridgeport? We're talking about mostly white, mostly black, mostly something else. Migrant crisis happening here. Give me the 411. What's happening?
Of her race.
As an African American woman, the cards were already not all dealt to me, and the fact that I'm trying and I'm striving, and it's for no reason at all, I'm keep on being set back.
This vandalism happened a week ago. Whitney and her salon are still waiting for the insurance company to come and fix it. She's also waiting for police to find the man who did this.
It feels defeating to know that we are good standing, we have good intentions, we give good energy, we create a good atmosphere.
I'm just standing up for small black-owned businesses to say, we're not going to stand for that. We deserve to be here. I bring peace to the community, and I want to be accepted and respected.
Whitney has been working with Chicago PD on the investigation, providing this video evidence of the man who launched the bomb in her window. Police told Whitney they have a lead, but as of today, no one has been...
But I can't even see the guy. What's going on with this footage? I can't tell what kind of race is going on here. I can't tell if he got a brown leg or a hairy leg or what's going on. Pause.
But as of today, no one has been arrested for the crime.
I put my business in Bridgeport. I knew it was a predominantly white neighborhood, but as we all see, it's nice. It's safe. I wanted to feel safe, so that's why.
Okay, it's a mostly white neighborhood. All right, so automatically you feeling like you're kind of out of place in the mostly white neighborhood, right? So that may lead you to think that there could be some hate crime stuff going on. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, it could happen, but there's so many times where it's proven to be fake or not what they said. It makes you just be skeptical.
I put my business here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I deserve to be here.
Lexi.
Yeah, that dude's voice was very feminine, of course, but he's in the hair salon working, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? If I hear a dude like that trying to be a firefighter or something, I'm like, hey man, this might not be the job for you. You may want to go try to be a ballroom dancer or something like that, rather than trying to put out these flames, hopping on the fire trucks, sounding like Keke Palmer, man. It's not really a good look for a man. But anyway, here we go. This is Paris, France. Shout out to Paris. People say all the time, I'm gonna turn the sound down. They say all the time, hey man, we got to go to Paris. We got to go to really experience what Europe is like. Now, listen, if this is Europe, if this is Paris, I'm not going to Paris. For you guys that travel, you go to Europe and stuff like that. Where do you go when you go to France? If you have gone that way, do you go to Paris? Is there a better part of Paris than this? Looking like third world country, second world country at best. Okay. Looking like Babylon, all the languages, ain't nobody communicating properly. It's just stuff going on. So I'm seeing trash, dirt, confusion. If you go to France, where do you go? Do you go to Paris? Or is it certain parts of Paris you go to? Yes, this is all Paris. All Paris, France, which you're seeing on the screen right now. Yep. You can see the buildings and whatnot in the background. You can see the old Paris. The remnants of it, I suppose. Where are the whites? Not in Paris. Not in Paris. The same way the bourgeoisie did back in the day when they went to Versailles and left the Parisians to muck in the mire. It's the same thing going on now, in my opinion. Okay, you got the rich in Monaco and places like this, not in Paris proper. But I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, somebody says it's a street in the Parisian suburbs, not Paris. Okay, tell me the difference. Tell me the actual difference. Like, is it better in Paris proper, or is it more the same once you get into Paris proper? Like, how much different is it than just regular old Paris? Okay, this is West Hollywood. We got a store that got robbed. Hold on, pardon me. So it said this is our family-owned jewelry store in West Hollywood, California. 40 years of hard work, robbed in a day.
40 years of work just gone in a matter of minutes.
I mean, what in the world? It's like they had explosives in here. That appears to be some kind of safe or some kind of something. Some kind of, storage, and it looks like it's been blown off the hinges. Like they have some kind of C4 or something on there. Well, maybe not C4. It might be a little bit of a bigger crater, but still, it looks like there was some kind of explosive activity right there. Like, what is going on right here? Was it a blowtorch or something? So you see what's going on here. This is the footage of the guys. Okay, bunch of high fives and handshakes. I can't tell if these guys are Hispanic, white, some other kind of random European. I don't know what's going on. But that's crazy. They're able to get into the safe and take all kind of stuff from the store. 40 years of work gone. Somebody said thermite. That's definitely pros for sure. Definitely pros, but thermite on the thing is crazy. Okay. Now here we go in Toronto. Toronto looks better, but there's some issues there as well.
Some may ask if this is a third world country, but this is in fact Toronto, Canada. What do you think of the state of it?
Toronto it doesn't look bad. Toronto's looking like kind of okay. I've seen much worse. Toronto looks actually kind of beautiful right now, to be totally honest. You got a few, people just hanging out, but this is nothing compared to LA right now, or like Philadelphia, Kensington, all of that. This actually looks pretty okay. But I would not go to Toronto because it's just way too cold when it's cold. I don't like cold weather. I like being down here. I like being down in the sunshine. 100 degrees to me is much better than snow at all. I don't care if it's right at the freezing point of snow. 32 degrees and it's snowing. I would take 100 degrees with high humidity in Georgia over snow of any sort. Yeah. I've seen some really, really bad stuff. Like Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. Oh my God. Like really, really bad. It's real bad down there. Man. Is it a dead body? Nah, they good. they straight. They just, hanging out by the park, laying by the tree, chilling. Now, I think this one might be New York. This is gonna look much worse than Toronto. Check it out.
Nah, yo, this shit look like I'm in another country. I'm right next to fucking Citi Field. And
so Citi Field, where is that? Is that New York? Is that somewhere else?
It look like a third world country out this bitch. Everything is in the way. Everybody's in the way. This is insane. Nah, yo, this shit look like I'm in another country. I'm right next to fucking Citi Field.
So you got the baseball stadium right there. I think it's where the Mets play in Queens, if I'm not mistaken.
It look like a third world country out there.
And then right over there, you got all the Mexico-looking, tienda-looking stuff over there. But you're in Queens. You're going to have this kind of stuff pop up everywhere. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys right quick. This is going to be normal. If you're not seeing these kind of storefronts, this looks like Mexico. You know, you're going to see those kind of storefronts all over the place, especially in a place like New York where you got limited real estate. Oh, yeah. And then when you have other places where they got tent cities and shanty towns, you're going to see that kind of stuff popping up. Yeah. This is Queens, New York. Queens, New York, New York City. Right next to Citi Field, which is where the New York Mets play, the baseball team. All right. So, yeah, shout out to you guys in New York, man. Hey, I love being down south. I'm not going anywhere else. Down south in Appalachia. I was saying on Twitter, I'm not an African American. I'm not an African person. I'm a Black American, obviously, but I'm not African. If anything, you call me Appalachian American. That's my preferred. That's my preferred pronouns. If that will fit. What are your pronouns? Appalachian American. What do you go by? Appalachian American. That's what I am. All this African stuff. We ain't been to Africa since the 1700s. Those days are over with. We have heritage there, but we're not that. You know, people that come from Africa are African. If you were born in Africa, you're African, in my opinion. If you just happen to be Black and you're living in America, you're an American who happens to be Black. Same thing with any other race. You're born in America, you're an American. That's how we do. Simple. Especially if you got roots in the country that go back, you're an American. When I go to Africa or anywhere in the world and they hear me talk, Yankee, Gringo, all this and that and the third. So it is what it is. I can't do my African Nigerian accent in Nigeria and let it be convincing. They may think when they see me, oh, he's one of us, eh? He's one of us, oh, but I'm not. I'm an American and that's fine. Wherever you are, whatever you are, that's fine. I got nothing against you. So yeah, shout out to all the Appalachian Americans out there. Shout out to everybody that's an American. And if you're not an American, shout out to you as well. Shout out to your country. It's all good. Now, speaking about Black America, Angela Rye, who is, look, people like Angela Rye and many others that are light-skinned, biracial, whatever, they fall up under the umbrella of Black American because you're not African. How can you even say sub-Saharan African when you're 30% white? It doesn't make any sense. And a lot of African Americans have that kind of admixture of white. So we are our own people over here. We've been here for a long time. Let's just say you're a Black American. That's fine. All right. But at the end of the day, like I said, your color don't even matter. You go overseas, you get that blue passport. They hear your voice. You're an American. All right. So let's check this out here. This is Angela Rye. She's in the caption, it says, she cries after confessing Black America isn't listening to them. All right, let's check this out. And here we go.
Like sometimes when people are so hurt and damaged, they go and do the other extreme thing, and it is not okay and it's not cool, but it doesn't just happen politically. And I think it is irresponsible. Had stuff to say about when a Washington Post article came out about Black people in Detroit not wanting to vote for Joe Biden and potentially voting for Donald Trump. That's how we end up losing engagement.
I totally agree.
Literally, like we're in a place now where this shit is so narrowed down and so refined and so like we're not engaging people anymore.
I don't receive that.
It's true. Like look at the numbers.
So she's talking about we as in Democrats. Democrats don't engage people anymore, and they don't. You know, it was funny. I saw this headline that said CNN denied all Black media access to the debate. And what I mean by that is like the stations that were simulcasting it, your PBS, C-SPAN, etc. All the Black media outlets were denied. Like they weren't giving anything at all, and they were complaining about it. But it's like, well, they know you're not going to do anything. They know you're going to vote for them anyway. So why would they do anything to try and reach out? And she's saying that right there. Ain't no reaching out. Democrats to the Black community. The main group the Democrats reach out to now is the LGBT. That's pretty much all they care about. A white person in Appalachia, you're totally forgotten. A white person, period, you're kind of like demonized. Black person down south, hey man, we know we got hurricanes and stuff in Mississippi. We got hurricanes and whatnot in Mississippi, New Orleans and whatnot, and you kind of get moved away, but don't worry about it. It's all good. Oh, and also not only the LGBT, but the migrants. That's their big thing right now. They care for the migrants. But you, as an American, if you're not gay, then, hey, man, you're pretty much on your own.
I give Angela credit for admitting the truth, but it is still simultaneously disturbing because guess what? Her tears formed because she's concerned about Donald Trump taking office and not about whether or not Black folks are going to receive reparations, economic justice.
All right, so that's pretty much that. But yeah, Angela Rye kind of crying crocodile tears because she's realizing that the community is kind of getting sick of all this nonsense. Now, let's talk about some Asians right quick, okay? That is like the outright discrimination against Asians when you're talking about higher education. All right, check it this. It says his GPA score is 97.3. Well, that's not his GPA. I guess that's grade point average, but not really. SAT 1560, enrolled in a top high school, does tons of extracurricular work. He was rejected by multiple colleges. They call this equity and inclusion. Now, I was saying that if they're going to do DEI, which I'm not saying they should, but if they were forced to do DEI, if they were just like really forcing it on you, I would say don't do what they're doing now. Focus more on different cultures being able to get along in the workplace and school and things of this nature. But it shouldn't be about putting down one group or being racist against one group or multiple groups. Your focus should be everybody being able to be on the same page if they're in the same environment. Okay. Like an extension of HR policies where you got to talk people a certain way. You can't be trying to harass people, things of that nature. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be about trying to exclude Asians because you want to have more Blacks and Hispanics in the place. And quite frankly, it does everybody a disservice. When you exclude the whites and Asians, you're going to exclude some of the top people that you need to keep the country going, number one. Number two, when you bring in the Blacks and Hispanics as kind of a consolation prize, as kind of a charity, people are going to automatically think anybody Black in a high level position is there because of affirmative action, quotas, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like it probably didn't earn the spot. And you might be right, but you might be wrong as well. That fuels into racism. What they're doing right here is racism, and it's going to fuel more racism. They shouldn't do this. But let me just hear from my man right here to get his thoughts on the whole situation.
A school does not want to admit me because I'm Asian American, then there's not much I can do about that because it's a part of me that I just can't get rid of.
By all accounts, David is an academically exceptional student with an impressive resume of accomplishments and extracurriculars. His high school, Stuyvesant in New York City, is one of the top-rated public schools in the country.
My GPA is 97.3 out of 100. My SAT score is 1560. And extracurricular-wise, I'm one of the captains for the Stuyvesant math team. I'm a team captain for the New York City math team. I'm the starting right side for our school's volleyball team. I'm in the all-city Latin jazz ensemble.
This man is a whole renaissance man doing everything. You're into music, sports, you're highly academic. I mean, the world is your oyster. Really, you could do whatever you want, but yet he's having a hard time getting into colleges. Why?
He applied early decision to Harvard. In December, he found out the college deferred him.
If it's deferred, that means I still have a chance.
We love you, all right?
Thank
you.
Then more disappointing news over the next few months as he began to hear back from the over dozen schools that he applied to.
No Yale. Waitlist. No Princeton.
It was all like bad news or results I wouldn't have expected, like reject, waitlist.
In March, he learned Harvard had rejected him.
I feel like I also owe it to my parents to sort of make them proud. And I feel like by not getting into Harvard, I was sort of disappointing them. But more importantly, I was disappointing myself.
So yeah, this guy right here should be in one of these big schools. He has the academic background. He has a lot of the things they say they want, because when you apply to these big schools, they'll try to judge you on things that are beyond academics, personality, things of that nature. He appears to be very well adjusted, very mannerable, is able to communicate very well, extracurricular activities, physical stuff, music. So he's well-rounded. He's not just a bookworm. He's into the arts. He's into physical fitness. And of course, his most important attribute is a brain power. He has everything, yet he's getting rejected. So then you see Black Hispanics getting over him with lower credentials, but they have a higher card to play, which is their race. And I think that's so dumb. Whoever the best people are for a thing should be in that thing. That's how I look at it. All right. But the way things are in this country, it don't always go that way. All right. Is he a Chinese spy? Is he even Chinese? I'm not sure what he was. He might have been Chinese. I can't tell. All right. I ain't trying to be racist. That's not really my cup of tea. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. So Tucker Carlson, did you guys see what he did to the reporter out there in Australia? This was a mess.
So much for your address today. So you talked a little bit about immigration, and in the past you've talked about how white Australians, Americans, Europeans are being replaced by non-white immigrants in what is often referred to as the Great Replacement Theory. This is the same.
Have I said that whites are being replaced?
Well,
I don't think I said that.
Well, it's been mentioned on your show 4,000 times. And
really, when did I say that?
On your
I said
show,
whites are being replaced?
You have said that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I would challenge you to cite that, because I'm pretty sure I haven't said that. I said native-born Americans are being replaced, including blacks.
Native-born Americans.
Native-born Americans.
And
Americans who, like black Americans, have been African Americans, have been in the United States for, in many cases, their families over 400 years. And their concerns are every bit as real and valid and alive to me as the concerns of white people whose families have been there 400 years. So I've never said that whites are being replaced. Not one time. And you can't cite it.
Untrue.
So we just met, but when our relationship starts with a lie, it makes it tough to be friends. So
you've been lying
let's
about
pull
my
that back. I'm happy to explain what I do think.
So.
Well, you actually can't say it because I didn't say it, and I don't believe it. And I'm telling you that to your face, so why don't you just accept me at face value?
Now, of course, he is in Australia. The sign on his podium here says Hyatt Hotel Canberra. So I guess he's out there in that particular part of the continent, Australia, the country. And the reporter is just upset, off rip, upset, and attacking Tucker like he's a racist. Talking about, oh, you talk about all the time on your show 1,000 times. The Great Replacement Theory, I mean, some may talk about, we're trying to replace whites or whatever, but really at this point, it's about replacing all Americans. Okay, you see what's happening right now with the drugs. They're just letting drugs come in. Like, the biggest problem in the USA, in my opinion, is drugs. The biggest problem, and it's from Big Pharma. Big Pharma has created an entire generation of addicted people, maybe even a few generations of addicted people. Like what's happening right now with the youth. I was watching this. Who was I watching? It might have been Peter Santinello or it might have been Nick Johnson, one of those YouTubers. Shout out to them. I watch quite a bit of travel YouTubers because when they go to places, I like to hear their opinions. I've been to quite a few places in the country, and I see certain things, and I like hearing their point of view. But anyway, I'm watching it, and they were in West Virginia. I think they were in McDowell County. A lot of coal come out of there. And there was a manager of a coal mine that Peter had talked to off camera. But what he said, the guy said was 60% of people under the age of 20 are on drugs in West Virginia. So when you have the government stimulus coming in, making everybody just collect a check and not work and stay home, then you have all these cheap drugs coming in like meth, which is very cheap and very high quality from the border. And you have so many people on drugs, it just creates an environment where there's no productivity and no future. This is why I always talk about drugs being like the worst thing. People say, oh, we need to abandon the war on drugs. You've not seen the effects of drugs in communities. You've not seen how entire people, their whole family just falls because of the drugs. But you know what? The good thing, and I'm getting way off. I'm digressing real hard. But you know the good thing about the drugs, what it's done to Appalachia, the shining star, the bright side, is that they're kind of in the stage of their own. You know the whole thing about good men create easy times create bad men create bad times. They've gone through the whole bad times thing, being raised by drug addicts or whatever. So now you're starting to see really, really intelligent people, hardworking people arise from that. So that's a good part. But I digress. Let me get back to my man Tucker annihilating this lady.
My concern is that the people who are born in the country are the main responsibility of its leaders. And as noted earlier, when those leaders shift their concern from the people whose responsibility it is to take care of to people around the world to put their priorities above that of their own citizens, that's immoral. And they are being replaced in my country, people who are born in the United States. And the birth rate tells the whole story. They are not at replacement rate. And so the U.S. population is growing because we're importing people from other countries. And my view is that happy people have children, and a functioning economy allows them to do that. And we don't have that. And so you need to fix the economy and fix the culture and make it so that people who want to have kids can. You don't just go for the quick sugar fix of importing new people. Like, that's my position. And if you think that's racist, that's your problem.
I never called you a racist.
But of course you...
But they always do that. They'll say things to somebody, or they'll frame their positions in a certain way that makes you know that they think they're racist. But then they're passive aggressive, talking about I never called you racist. Well, you did everything but call me a racist. I understand what you were trying to imply by the tone of your question. So let's not play games. Let's just be serious.
But of course you are suggesting, and
Well,
I must say one of the reasons people don't like people like you in the media is that you never say exactly what you mean. Your slurs are all by implication, and you're about to tell me the great replacement theory is racist or anti-Semitic, whatever. I've said what I've said to you right now like 100 times in public. I hope to, if I live long enough, say it 100 more times. I think it's completely honest and real, not racist or scary. It's factually true. It's not a theory, it's a fact. And the whole point of your question was to be like, you're a scary racist.
Well, I haven't
And
actually
my
finished my
response is,
question.
no, I'm not. Okay, well, how about no more lying in your questions, and then I'll answer it.
Okay, well, this is the same theory, or as you say, idea, that has inspired the New York Buffalo shooting where 11 black Americans were killed.
Come on.
2
You know what
white
I mean?
Americans were killed.
Man, look, and nobody, that's just a silly thing to say. She's trying to say that his views, I suppose, or platforming of people who talk about the great replacement theory has inspired attacks around the country, or at least one thing in New York that happened. I mean, that's just so silly. People, a lot of times on the outside looking in, don't understand what's going on. All they can go off of is what they're being presented by a lot of false media, a lot of stuff on TikTok. You'd be surprised just how much misinformation is on TikTok. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I might need to get on there, although I tried my best to actually resist technology and all this stuff. I did not get my first full screen touch phone until 2018. For the longest, I tried to just not even really get involved with it. I didn't get on Instagram until the same time, 2018. Before that, I was not even on Instagram. I tried. But at a certain point, these things are consuming society. So the best thing you can do, in my opinion, is if you got kids, raise your kids properly, of course. That's the main thing. But there's more than that, because you can raise your kids properly and do everything. But if they're able to get on their phone and see all kind of just crazy stuff, it's difficult to combat that. So what I want to do is lend my voice to that algorithm, and hopefully they get some nuggets of information and knowledge versus whatever kind of garbage they're getting on TikTok that is being put out by these really big money companies for completely the wrong purpose, for propaganda purposes, to brainwash your children.
Like, it's also inspired.
It's not. First of all,
it's inspired one of the worst Australian guns
How do
of
they
all
get
time
people
to
this
shoot
stupid in the media? I guess it doesn't pay well. Look, I'm sorry. I've lived among people like you for too long, and I don't mean to call you stupid. Maybe you're just pretending to be, but I'm totally against violence. I'm totally against the war in Ukraine, for example, which doubtless you support. And like all dutiful liberals, support more carnage. I don't. I hate mass shootings, actually. Nothing I said, what does it mean to inspire something? My views are not bigoted against any group. They're honest. They're factual. That's not hate. That's reality. And my views derive from my deep concern for Americans, actually. Americans aren't having kids because they can't afford to. And nobody in charge cares. And so that's my position. That doesn't inspire mass shootings. How dare you try to tie me to some lunatic who murdered people? How dare you, actually? And in fact, I mean, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, Hitler wore those shoes. A lot of people are saying that you're like Hitler. Can you explain those shoes? Hitler wore exactly the same shoes, and you're like, I've got nothing to do with Hitler. Well, that's how I feel about your absurd, disingenuous question.
Right, so therefore you support gun control?
What? I thought it couldn't get dumber, but it did.
These people are just so dumb, man. The whole idea of gun control, they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get it, man. The genie's out the bottle. You can't just wave a wand to have all the guns go away. That's not how it works. And also, we have laws in the country. We have a constitution. We have the right to bear arms, and it's for a reason. You Australians, shout out to the Australians out there, but to the reporter, you guys gave up your guns, and you see what they did to you in COVID. They denied all your civil rights and liberties, treated you like garbage, treated you like how they were doing in China, where you were getting welded into your home and couldn't leave. All right. So I'm not trying to hear anything from people who have given up their civil liberties. All right. You pretty much have submitted to the government. You might as well just get on your hands and knees and kiss the ring of whoever the president is, or Xi Jinping, or whoever kind of authoritarian figure comes into your country. We don't do that over here. We have a little bit of autonomy left, and that autonomy is kind of bolstered by our right to bear arms. Everybody has guns. We all shoot. It is what it is. We don't play no games. We're not like cowards over there that want to give your guns away. But not all the Australians are like that. Shout out to the Australians who are not down with what that reporter was talking about. I know we got some really good patriots in the land down under, in Oz. Shout out to you guys, 100%. Not to your colleague right here, to your countrymate right here who's talking crazy.
No, I don't support disarming law-abiding people so they can't defend themselves. So the government has a monopoly on violence? I don't think so. First of all, in my country, that's illegal, as you know. But moreover, it should be illegal in every country. A sovereign person has the right to defend himself and his family. Period. And that said, I'm totally opposed to harming anyone.
So there's more to that, but I ain't going to play everything. That's Tucker Carlson out there in Canberra, Australia, completely destroying a woke reporter. Now, let's talk about what's happening in New York City. We got migrant gangs. Okay, we got a migrant gang out there. Not only are they a gang, but they are smuggling weapons inside of homeless shelters, so-called homeless shelters. Listen, you got what's happening right now. I think Trump even said it. Matter of fact, I know Trump said it during the debate. You have countries sending us their prisoners. What did Cuba do during the boat lift? They flushed the toilets of Cuba upon America. All people that were in jail or were just known to be menaces to society, they were released upon like a pack of locusts. They just, and crime and violence and everything just skyrocketed right where they were released. These are not just regular so-called migrants. These are not true asylum seekers. These are not good people that they are sending us. What Trump say? What Trump say? I'll get to the debate when I want to get to the debate. You just got to hang tight, Stephen. But Trump said that they're not sending us their best. And this is what has happened. This is what's going on. So let's check this out.
According to audio recordings read by prosecutors, Mata claims he was recruited to join the gang to commit robberies. But the most shocking claim, the gang has been smuggling guns into city-run shelters.
Trinidad Aragua members were smuggling firearms into city shelters inside food delivery packages. That way they don't have to go through the metal detector.
The NYPD is on to this gang.
We've never seen anything really like it. They're so dangerous.
Police say within the past year, there's been an increase of over 300% in robberies and grand larcenies. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny, who was on the 6 o'clock news earlier this week, says it started back in 2022, 2023, when the influx of migrants started arriving. He says these gang members have no respect for law enforcement.
In fact, that they were learning through intelligence debriefings that they're actually instructed to shoot police officers if confronted.
According to the NYPD, that's what happened on June 3rd when the two officers tried to pull Mata over for driving an unregistered scooter the wrong way on a one-way street in East Elmhurst. Mata telling investigators that shooting at police officers is what they do in his home country.
I mean, come on, Eric Adams, Kathy Hochul. Why can't we just close the border down? Why are you guys continuing to be a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state. You're getting gang members that are smuggling weapons into the migrant shelters. They're shooting at cops. They have no problem shooting at cops. That's what they do in Venezuela. That's part of their culture. And you're going to import criminal aliens, known criminal aliens, gang affiliated, tattoos, forehead, all that good stuff. You're going to import them to New York City. And then when the crime rises, you're like, oh, I don't know what's happening. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? You want to import criminal aliens, then you want to demoralize a police department, not fund them properly. It doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, that's why I'm glad I don't live up there. I don't live in New York City. I don't live in California at all. I don't live in some kind of big, corrupt, crazy city that has sanctuary laws. I'm out here in East Tennessee, and it's lovely. Oh, it's lovely. It is great. Okay, we got mountains and waterfalls and just nature. The crime ain't really an issue. When I first came out here, they're talking about, oh, man, be careful. You're in Chattanooga. I've been living out here for a few years now, man. It's not, it's straight. It's cool. Like, you're pretty much carefree out here. Back in Virginia, it's a little bit different. It might get a little squirrely depending upon what's going on. All right, so here we have Gavin Newsom being asked about what's happening with the Democratic Party, if he's going to be the next nominee. Check it out.
To be the next Democratic nominee?
No, our nominee is Joe Biden. I'm looking forward to voting for him in November. He's going to be our nominee.
Because you know that everyone are talking about you as a possible nominee now.
Thanks.
Are you enjoying it?
We're going up here? Thanks.
So yeah, he ain't trying to hear nothing, man. But Gavin Newsom, really, I think most of us know that Gavin Newsom could be the next guy. He could be the guy they replace Joe Biden with, because Joe Biden looks like he has no more time left. If the sands of time were just steadily dropping, all the time would be, he has about 2 grains of sand left in 20 ton sand capsule. He's pretty much done. All right, let's keep on going here. All right. Now, this is an older video. This is from the 2014 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now, this is them talking about Joe Biden's mental decline, cognitive decline back then. So if they were speaking about it back then, obviously 4 years later, 10 years later, it's going to be an issue. The issue didn't go away. Check it out.
The vice president isn't here tonight, not for security reasons. He just thought this event was being held at the Dulles Airport Applebee's. Yes, right now, Joe is elbow deep in jalapeno poppers and talking to a construction cone he thinks is John Boehner. Also true. It's crazy to think that Joe Biden is only 1 heartbeat away from no one taking him seriously as president. Sorry for that one.
Now, remember, this is 2014. 2014, this is during the Obama administration. So they've known for a long time that this guy is a few trees short of a forest. They've known that for a long time, so it's not even a surprise now. They knew when he was running that he was on borrowed time at best. We got a few clips here. Let's get into it. All right. This was really bad. The split screen, especially with the mouth open, all of that, it was crazy.
Healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, healthcare system.
I mean, that was painful. If you're watching this, you're like, what's going on? Like, what is really happening? But the craziest thing that I've seen is people reacting to it, talking about, I'm going to still vote for him. You're going to vote for this guy who is not there at all? I mean, come on. Come on. And then what was crazy was to see Trump's reaction. Like, he was looking at him like, are you good? Like, this reaction right here with Trump on the left-hand side, Biden on the right, barely able to get through it. It was priceless. And you know what the excuse is? Oh, Biden is a stutterer. I'm a stutterer too. And you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to be stuck in the mud, not able to continue forward. If you get hung up on the word, you replace it. You're not just going to be like, in Mr. Burns' hands. That's not stuttering. That's called old age, being elderly. That's what that is. And it's fine. It's okay. Not everybody that's up there in age sounds like that, but he does. Let's keep on going. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up.
Are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine?
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money.
Now, what he's saying right here about the war, Ukraine giving $200 billion with the B dollars or more, right on point. And we don't have the money, obviously. Have you guys seen inflation lately? I did the inflation piece on the Wednesday stream. It's out of control. I mean, they're talking about 7% inflation. The inflation is much more. But anyway, what he's saying right here is right on point as far as the monies we're spending that we're giving to Ukraine for this war that is unwinnable. Ukraine cannot win the war. All they're going to do, all we're doing right now is using them as a proxy ground to fight the war against Russia. But look at Joe Biden's face. Look at that.
I don't think there's ever been.
Oh man, come on. Can we not? Okay, that's my mixer again. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to reboot the mixer, but I'm good. I thought I fixed the mixer, but I guess I didn't. So I probably gotta buy a new one. I might have to get one of those the Rodecaster 2. But that thing costs an arm and a leg. All right, hold on. There we go. Yeah, that thing costs an arm and a leg. But anyway, let's go. Let's keep on going.
Been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
So, yeah, Trump sounded really good, really strong all throughout the actual debate. And there's no question. And there was a few times where Trump was saying, hey, why are we even up here having a debate? What are we debating about? Obviously, I'm the candidate. You're not. What are we even talking about? He was very sharp, very, very sharp. And he looked even sharper because of how dull and how absent Joe Biden was. He looked even better because of that. All right, now here's a famous sentence that didn't come out correctly.
On the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to.
Now, look, when he says, look, I didn't even really hear him. I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence, and I don't think he knows either. When he says that, and then this is the look that you get from him, like, really? I just called you incompetent. I just called you basically you're absent of any real clear thoughts in your brain. You can't articulate yourself. You need to pretty much go home, go to get some help from your nurse, Jill. And then you give that look. I think you need to like say a little bit more than that. But he can't because it's the truth. Now, speaking about Jill, this is Jill comforting Joe after the debate, which was cringe. This was super, like anytime I see Jill, I cringe. She's a cringe machine. Check it out.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lied! Yes. Joe,
yeah. So cringe. Why would she come out and say, you did so good. You answered every question. You had all the, like, what? This is like something that would happen when you're about 5 years old and you go out there and play Little League football or something. Oh, you did so good. You ran forward and you didn't let them get you down. You got back up. You didn't get hurt. You didn't start crying. It's like that kind of message for this 1,000-year-old man. Please let him just stay at the house and eat applesauce and play with the grandkids, man, because this guy, come on, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. I've never seen the CNA get elevated to this level of stardom. But anyway, let me keep on going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, now here is Trump, and that might be Biden talking about C-19 and the scamdemic.
Tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation.
Let's pause right here. Now, everything in this country was running so smooth on all cylinders until COVID. That's what just halted a lot of progress going forward. And what happened with COVID was inactivity was encouraged. Inactivity was incentivized. And there was just a big influx of paper money from the printing machine, from Jerome Powell helicoptering. So you get all this money that shouldn't be in circulation, and you are encouraging people to not work. So you got too many dollars chasing too few products. So naturally what's going to happen is, to reduce the demand on the limited supply of the products, you got to raise the prices. That's caused what we are facing today, which is, in my opinion, hyperinflation. You understand? It's just like, I can give you an example with the PlayStation 5. For a long time, the PlayStation 5 was impossible to get. The excuse was, oh, it's a bunch of bots online. As soon as the PlayStation 5 goes live, all the bots take it and normies can't get it. Then the excuse was, oh, we got a supply chain issue with China, Japan, whatever. That was the excuse, right? That's the reason why you couldn't get a PS5. But what I found out, what was really going on is, everybody had so much money from COVID, everybody was buying the PlayStation 5s and selling them out immediately as soon as they came on the market. Immediately. And then plus, people are at home, nothing to do, so they want to play video games. It got us extra money. Cool, I'll buy a PlayStation. A lot of the gaming studios had built themselves up during the scamdemic to meet the demand of all the new video game players. And then after the scamdemic fell off, they had to lay people off. That's what happened. It wasn't about bots or nothing. Everybody just had so much money that Sony could not keep up. So the natural thing to do, if you're not a multi-billion-dollar corporation, is when you are facing an unfulfillable amount of requests for your items, you got to raise the price of the items to reduce the amount of requests. Some businesses could be overwhelmed with too much business and cause them to go out of business. But I digress. I'm getting off the reservation here.
With all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with, we gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
I mean, he tore him to pieces. He tore him to pieces. Trump was very clear, very to the point. And again, as I said during the actual debate when it was live, and as I said in my video, I got to give CNN a lot of credit. I got to give them credit. They did not interrupt Trump or Biden. They let them speak. When they had more time, they would let them know, hey, you got some more time. You want to say anything else? They were very good. The only thing that CNN made it a point to do was to get questions answered directly. So if they thought that Biden was not being direct with an answer, or Trump, they would follow up a couple of times so they got the direct answer. But beyond that, and even that was fine. I had no problem with them getting direct answers to questions. This was very well done by CNN. I was pleasantly surprised. There was a rumor about a 1 to 2 minute tape delay that wound up being false. That was spread by somebody on Twitter that's not a reputable source. So again, everything was live. CNN did a good job. They let both sides get their point across. But Biden obviously looked very bad. He looked very, very, very bad. Let's keep on going here.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Yeah, and the caption to this video was the debate in a nutshell. Biden struggling to get any kind of words out, looking like he's just on the door. Hey, I want to get into the pearly gates, please. Just take me now. That's the way he looks. Okay, you had a whole week to prepare. They couldn't put no spray tan on you or something like that, make you a little bit more lively. He looks pale. He looks weak. He sounds frail. He sounds like he's just totally done with whatever he got going on. Okay. Empty suit at best. The Men in Black roach monster at best. Yeah, man. So that's Joe. Do I have more? I'm sure I have more. So I think this was put out by the Trump administration. Hold on. Yeah. So Trump put out a brutal 95-second ad of Joe Biden's debate highlights. Okay. And do I have... Oh, I got a picture for you guys before I get to that. Now, this is Biden being helped off the stage by Jill and another handler right there to the left of the screen, but to Joe Biden's right. Terrible. And it's just like one step. He has to get down off the, it's one step. It's a small step, but he's old. This is reminding me of Hillary Clinton when she couldn't move from the curb to the actual van. Just a couple of inches, she couldn't move. She almost fell. She almost fell down. And she was not even as old as Joe. She was like in her 60s. And Joe got to be, I don't know, man. He got to be 195 right now. But anyway, let's watch this 95-second ad from Trump about Biden's debate performance.
Both sides. Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're gonna. I'm proposing that everybody the millionaires pay 1%. So no one.
Trump's face throughout the whole thing was crazy. Like, he'd be looking dead ahead, real stern, and then he'd go like this. He look at him and like, okay, you all right, my man? And the music is tearing me up.
After I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it stopped. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
That was rough. That was some of the debate lowlights, I suppose, from Joe. Now, some may say, hey, ABL, that's selective editing. You're not showing anything that Biden said or did that was good. I mean, if you got it, show it to me. Show it to me. Show me some highlights. If you want to show me some Joe Biden highlights from the debate, hey, man, knock yourself out. Go ahead and compile it. Send it on over to me. Contact at anthonyblogan.com. Real simple. Real simple. I'm not easy to find. Try to find some highlights. Even if you find that he said something that was kind of good or it might have stuck with you, the whole thing about, oh, he has morals of an alley cat. But did you hear him when he said it, though? He said Trump has the morals of an alley cat, and some like that. But when he said it, he sounded like he was just waking up from the best slumber ever. I'm talking about slobbing on the pillow, all of that, because he's 1,000 years old and he sounds every bit of it. All right. So let's keep on going. Do we have more? We got more. Okay. We have much more that I want to get into. Some of the reactions from the mainstream media. Oh, we got to get into the reactions. The reactions were priceless. Oh, yeah. 100%. Okay, Keith Olbermann, all these people, let's get into them.
The decision to not fact check the fire hose of lies that is Donald Trump, that is the entirety of his existence and the entirety of his campaign, the decision to not fact check any one of those lies by CNN was one of the most immoral decisions in the history of the free press in this country.
How the mighty have fallen, man. I used to enjoy Keith Olbermann when he was on ESPN back during the Stuart Scott days. How the mighty have fallen. Now he's over here in Bristol, Connecticut, or wherever he lives, acting a complete fool.
Literally, I am suggesting that at some point tonight, CNN should, it will not, go off the air in shame, fire everybody, seal off the buildings, make sure everybody's out, and burn the goddamn place to the ground.
Whoa. Like, wait a minute. We can't be sending arsonist threats through telecommunications. You might get locked up, man. Big rocks, little rocks. Okay, I ain't gonna tell. I ain't gonna snitch. You put it right here on the internet. You might get a little knock on your door. Okay, Mr. Olbermann, you talking about terroristic threats, talking about arson, things of this nature. You might get a little knock, man. You might get put on the list. You try to fly from Bristol to Los Angeles or to London, UK. They'd be like, no. You're on this naughty boy list. You're not going anywhere. Matter of fact, give me that passport. You ain't gonna need that. Go ahead and sit down. Go ahead and sit down. So yeah, Keith Olbermann, sir, I'm gonna need you to relax. Just pipe down a scotch, a smidge, because you're doing way too much. Yeah, definitely a psychopath for sure. All right, but people are losing their minds. They're losing their minds. We got to look at some of these reactions. Okay, let me see. This might be Alejandro Mayorkas, the guy who has the border wide open, no door, no security, no nothing. Check it out.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused. The most
Man, why lie like that? Why lie like, I don't understand. The people can see him. The people can see him. They see him clearly. They see that this guy is not all the way there. Why would you get on TV and lie to us, Alejandro Mayorkas? Well, I guess he does it all the time because, okay, are you in charge of the border? Is it Kamala Harris? Like, I don't know what's going on. What is he, the Homeland Security Secretary? Yeah, okay. So check it out. You are the Secretary of Homeland Security. Your job is to keep the United States secure, but the border's wide open. We got drugs, fentanyl, human trafficking, slavery, all of that coming across. What are you doing? You going to meet the press and lying about Joe Biden and his mental and physical state when we can see this guy is one slip, one slight breeze away from completely being in the wheelchair. We see kind of what's going on. All right, now here's CNN. They were not enthused by this performance.
Right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists. It involves elected officials. It involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket. And they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little halting. The contrast between the two candidates right now.
I mean, listen, you know it's bad when the mainstream media cannot defend their guy. They would love nothing more than to say that Biden was amazing. He did a great job, sounded strong. They would love to say that. But they can't because anybody can see what they saw. Anybody can see what they saw. Now, if you want to vote for Joe Biden, despite him looking like he has like 24 hours to live, then go ahead and knock yourself out. But I think most people are going to be a little bit hesitant to do that. Why would you do something like that? It doesn't make much sense. Let's keep on going. Now, here is Joe Biden at a Waffle House for some reason in Atlanta.
How did you perform tonight?
I think we did well.
Do you have any concerns there?
Now, look at his hands. You see his hands kind of like just hanging like that. That's like Mr. Burns style. Real old guy. That's what they do. And again, I'm not trying to insult elderly people, as I know that we all get old, and I got grandparents, great grandparents, and I love them dearly. But maybe this shouldn't be the job for you. Maybe just like, if you're 45 years old and you played basketball in college, maybe the NBA with these 19-year-olds getting drafted is not the place for you. Maybe you could go be in an adult league or something like that. Basically, stay in your lane. And the lane for Joe Biden should not be the president of the USA. I'm just saying, maybe his lane should be at the house, flinging hot sauce, hanging out with the youngins.
I think we did well.
Do you have any concerns there?
There's not much enthusiasm for Biden to be in the building. There's not much buzz. It's just people are there, and that's pretty much all there is. Yeah, it's just not really a good look for him. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, let's look at Young Turks. Hold on. First, before Young Turks, let's look at. We got a few here that I want to show you guys. We have a few. All right. Let me see now. Oh, we gotta show Kamala Harris too. We got quite a few reactions, but this one right here, a Democratic Party official was so taken aback by Biden's performance, he wanted to delete himself. Kinda. Check it out.
He said that when that happened, the entire room was just completely silent and in shock, and that this member's own reaction was that he wanted to jump off of a bridge.
A bridge? Listen, I know that it might have been a pretty rough debate. I know that Biden did not do very well, but I'm not going to jump from no bridge over the situation. Okay, maybe it's a little bit of a figure of speech, I guess, but I ain't going to talk like that. I'm not trying to delete myself because you did poorly. That ain't going to be what happens, but I understand the sentiment. People are just really appalled and taken aback. Democratic Party officials are like, what's going on? Now, this is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. I think this was after the actual interview. This was bad. Kamala Harris is like 55, I think, 57. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Kamala Harris age 59. Okay, she'll be 60 in October. So not that old, okay? Younger than my parents, put it to you that way. 59 years old, but she sounds like Nancy Pelosi right here. Have you been drinking? What's going on? Who did the cocaine belong to in the White House? At this point, I can't tell. But let's watch this.
Wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care.
All that may be true. All that may be true. But the president of the United States was not able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Vice President Biden 4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. That's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A president who incites an insurrection against the Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
But
whether
is that
it be
the man
infrastructure,
who we saw on the stage tonight? Is that the
other
person
guy
you
on
see
the
in
debate
meetings every day?
stage?
That was a really good question. If you guys didn't hear it, Anderson Cooper asked Kamala Harris, is the man that we saw on stage tonight the same guy you see in meetings every day? Like, is that him? Is that the way he's always looking? If he's always like that, obviously that's not who you want to be in the Oval Office.
The person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about, whether it be in the Oval Office, negotiating bipartisan deals so that we have an infrastructure, a real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America.
She can barely talk. It's like English is not her first language, which it might not be because she was not raised by a native English speaker, if I'm not mistaken. I think her mom was from India. But anyway, and then she lived in Montreal, so you parlez-vous français? What's going on? Like, what language do you actually speak? English is not really your first one because you're not very articulate in English. You're not able to express yourself very well. You're just saying things that you think sound good. It's like, I don't know, man. But again, that's your vice president and your president. All right, let's see this from CNN. Another reaction.
If anybody in America thinks that was even close to being an okay debate by Joe Biden, I'm living in a parallel universe. That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden from the second he walked out to the closing statement. The biggest issue for Democrats is abortion, and he couldn't give an answer. He gave an answer, he couldn't even give a coherent answer on the biggest issue for Democrats tonight. I've heard from leading Democrats across the United States, elected governors, congressmen, who are texting me and saying, I'm worried I'm going to lose if Joe Biden's at the top of the ticket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, you're for re-election in the general in November, and Biden is there at the top of the ticket. You're toast. You are toast. Maybe some of these urban inner city areas you might be all right, but if people are kind of like swing voters and they vote for what they think will be the best thing, what would help them in this election, kind of like West Virginia, they may vote Democrat during times where the Democrats are not threatening coal, but then when Democrats want to threaten coal, they're going to vote Republican. Whatever benefits them the most in their area, whatever looks the best for them, they're going to vote for that. They're not going to vote for, they would not be a MAGA country in West Virginia if Trump was against coal. It wouldn't happen. It would not happen because the whole state is dependent upon that. It's just, especially in the South, like there's nothing else there but that. So when people see Joe Biden perform like that, they're not going to be enthusiastic. They're going to say, hey, if I want this country to be run properly, maybe the guy that's running it shouldn't be in that kind of mental state and that kind of physical, frail, old, weak state. That shouldn't be who I vote for. So that's going to cause some swing voters to swing the other direction, and everybody knows it. That's why they're panicking so much. Now, here we have Young Turks. And check it out. This background is funny. Is that the fiery but peaceful background? I don't know what's going on there. And shout out to the RP to the headphone users. Sorry for the loud noise.
The whole time the split screen is killing Biden because he's got his mouth open. He looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in like disastrous shape. Those are going to be played 1 billion times in viral video after viral video. This is an epic disaster. I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life. And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head who thinks that Joe Biden is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump. You would have to be even crazier than Donald Trump to think that. This thing is over. I'll guarantee you this. I would bet show me a Democratic politician and I will bet them any amount of money that Joe Biden's going to lose this election if he's the candidate.
I don't see how he wins. You know, and this is the reason why there is this lawfare happening against Trump, because the idea is let's get him locked up to where he can't be out there campaigning, and people will think that you can't vote for him because he's locked up, which is not true, obviously. I said it once and I said it again. There's only 3 qualifications that you need to become the president in the USA. You have to be a natural born citizen. You got to be in the USA for at least 14 years, and you must be at least 35 years old. Trump satisfies all those requirements, as he did when he was elected in 2016 and became the president. It'd be the same thing right now. It doesn't matter if he has been convicted of a felony, if he's in prison. It doesn't matter. He can still become the president if we, the people, vote for him, because he satisfies all those 3 qualities I mentioned earlier. You can't just amend stuff during the game talking about, oh, you couldn't have been convicted of a crime, all this and that and the third. That's not how it works, but I digress.
It's a guaranteed loss. You're telling me this is the most important election of our lifetimes? You're telling me that democracy's on the line, and you're gonna put on a guy who can't even talk, who can't even sit there and look normal. This thing's a bloodbath. He's gonna get annihilated. That is, okay, now the Democrats have to decide. Are they happy to lose? Are they willing to lose? Because this is a guaranteed loss.
This is so much worse than my worst nightmares of what it could be like in every way. The visual stuff is obvious. The staring off, the looking down, it looks terrible. His voice is so utterly weak and feeble. And honestly, like that immediately hits you when you see him, but what he says and what he doesn't say on the most important core issues of the election are even worse. Trump won on abortion.
He did. Now, if you guys did not hear Trump's abortion remarks, he definitely won on that remark. Now, some may be offended at what he said, because Trump says that he does believe in exceptions, grape, I can't say the other word because it's YouTube, grape, incest, life with a mother. And also he appreciates how states have rights over it, and he doesn't want it to be a federal thing, because some people want it to be a federal thing and just ban abortion outright. That's going to be a losing game, because if you make it be a federal thing, then it'll be a federal thing. So if you have one president in there that says, okay, we're going to ban abortion outright, or we're going to have mandatory heartbeat bills nationwide on the federal level, what you've done is open the door for the next president to say, we're going to have abortion up until the point of birth, because it's a federal thing. If you change it, I can change it too. What it should be is up to the states, so there's no federal control over it. I don't want the federalists to come in and say that you got to have an abortion at 6 weeks or none, or that it's going to be up until the point of birth. I'd rather each state be able to decide what they want to do for the people in that state. All right. I don't want to be in a place where California and Tennessee, Texas, Georgia are on the same level with the laws, because obviously they got something else happening over there that they got to deal with. Let's let that be over there, and let's let us over here do things how we see fit. And if you don't like it, you can just leave, go somewhere else. That'd be how it works, right? All right, but yeah, shout out to him with the purple hair. Yeah, looking like left-wing Luka Doncic. But here is RFK Jr. giving the rebuttal to the debate. This is pretty interesting. And let's check it out.
This debate is a problem because these two men are the people who ran up the deficit that is causing the inflation. President Trump came into office promising to balance the budget. Instead, he spent more money in office than every president in United States history combined, from George Washington to George W. Bush, 283 years of history. President Biden will beat him. He's already run up $6.3 trillion in debt, and by the time he leaves office, he'll have run up more than President Trump. That's why we have inflation. Inflation is caused because they're printing money to pay for these expenses that we don't have, and that money is then a tax on the poor. That's why we have a 22% hike in home insurance. That's why we have $4 milk, $4 bread, $6 gasoline. It's because of the forever wars and the out-of-control spending by these two gentlemen.
Now, yeah, so basically, I don't want to play the entire thing here, but what he's saying is right on point. The money printing and spending that Trump did during COVID was a problem. That changed a lot. And I was talking about that earlier, and somebody said it, Econ 101. Well, some of these things should be Econ 101, but unfortunately, you know that we're not really being run by a nation of brilliant people. We're being run by a lot of idiots and, corporate. We're being run by sometimes corporate interests on the federal level. This is why I say the federal government sucks. I say that all the time. I do not like the federal government. We can go ahead and just abolish the federal government and keep the military. Like, keep some services, obviously, but all this red tape and bureaucracy and all these different alphabet letter organizations, I'm not really a fan. Yeah, the federal government sucks. They've been infiltrated. They are corrupt. They do whatever they want. They print and spend money. They put you into a place of complete despair financially. Okay, if you got savings in the bank, man, forget about that. A bank account at this point is kind of pointless unless you're just going to put regular money in there to pay your bills. You're trying to save money in the bank account, man. You might as well burn it right now.
We have a $34 trillion debt now. The interest alone on that debt is costing us more than our military budget. Within 5 years, 50 cents out of every dollar that we collect in taxes will go to servicing the debt. Within 10 years, 100%. This is existential.
So what he's saying right here is right on point. Again, I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but the debt, the money printing is a problem. It's definitely a problem, and we see it every day. It's all around us, and we can't keep kicking the can down the road. At a certain point, things are going to happen. And you know what I think is going to end up happening? We're going to go through some rough times. We're going to go through the cycle I said earlier. Good times. Hold on. What did it say? Good men create good times. Bad times. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Hold on. I got to say the right thing. Is it good times? Good times create weak men create hard times create good men. We're going to go through that. We have to. Ain't no other choice because it's already happening. We're already dealing with the hyperinflation, and it's not going to go down. It has to happen. All right, let's look at what Dave Portnoy said. Somebody recommended I play Dave Portnoy. I'm going to play a little bit of this.
All right, everyone's talking about the debate still. Obviously, the highlight was that golf back and forth. Just Trump saying he won 2 championships, not senior tournaments, normal club championships because he hits the ball long.
I've never heard Dave Portnoy talk.
Even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it.
And then Biden saying he's a 6 handicap, play man. Well, the whole thing was nuts. The best comedy writers in the world couldn't script it.
I got my handicap, which when I was.
And I'm not talking just Republicans and the Trump people. Democrats, CNN, just shoveling dirt on him, being like he didn't do what he had to do. He looked weak. We may have to make a change.
I think the question answers itself. He wasn't capable of doing any better than he did.
There is no two ways about it. That was not a good debate for Joe Biden.
That was painful. We're still.
Oh, Van Jones, man. Like I was looking for Van Jones to start crying, because Van Jones loved to cry on TV. You can't be having that, man. You can't killing our image. You emasculating the black male image, crying every time something happened to somebody, man. Don't nobody got no time for that, man. Come on, let's keep on going. Put a little bit of bass in your voice and keep stepping.
Far from our convention. And there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that.
Am I taking crazy pills here? I thought Joe Biden gave a A+++ effort for Joe Biden. That was as good as Joe Biden could ever do in a debate. Before it started, I tweeted out, how are the Democrats allowing Joe Biden to do a debate? Have you been paying attention? The guy is a vegetable. He's gone. He belongs in a nursing home. He can barely finish a sentence. I didn't think he'd be able to find his way from the green room to the podium without getting lost. I didn't think he'd be able to stand up for 2 hours without taking a nap in the middle of it.
And let's pause for a minute. What he's saying right here is on point. I was kind of a little bit lost at first. He was like, it was a A++. But what he's saying is there's no way that Biden could have done better because that's him. What we saw on stage is him. You can't really get more from a guy like that who's barely able to move around as it is. He's not going to all of a sudden become better on the debate day. But then something else. He was surprised that he was able to be up there for almost 2 hours or whatever without taking a nap. One thing you don't know is that it's not normal to have commercial breaks during debates. Fun fact, they had 2 commercial breaks. I was kind of shocked. I didn't really think about it at the time. When they had the first commercial break, I'm like, commercial break? I was kind of confused. And then they had another one. I'm like, they were able to negotiate, Biden's team, they were able to negotiate not 1 but 2 commercial breaks when there's normally not a commercial break for 90 minutes. It just stand on stage and talk, answer questions. That shouldn't be that hard for you to do. That should not be that hard for you to do. But when you are 1,000 years old and you're already pretty much at the end and you're a husk of a man, you need some breaks. You need some time to, get everything together.
He did better than my wildest expectation. So if you're a Democrat and you're like, oh, Biden didn't look good, what were you expecting? Where have you been for the last 2 years? Joe Biden, that was an all-star effort from that guy. He usually freezes up, can't see, gets panicked. He's 1,000 years old and he acts 1,000 years old. He belongs in a home. See Joe Biden at the end of it being, hey, Joey, open your mouth. Here comes the airplane with the mask, please.
That was very good. Very good. Dave Portnoy, that was good. I like him. I've never heard him speak before. I would see him I would see headlines about Dave Portnoy, but I never heard him talk before. This was very good. I ain't gonna play the entire thing. That's on his Twitter page. I agree with him 100%. And then the whole thing at the end about here's an airplane with your peas and mashed potatoes. That's pretty much what Jill did at the end, talking about, you did so good. You answer all the questions like he's 2 years old, learning flashcards for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to read and write and walk and talk. This is a full-grown man who's 1,000,000 years old, man. Come on. All right. Do we have more here? We have a few more reactions. Then we're going to go ahead and get into the calls and whatnot. I know you guys got quite a few calls. All right. Let me see. I think I want to play this one. I want to play this one right here.
I'm serious. Failing, I don't know a president wouldn't trade places with America in a heartbeat. He's dead wrong. America's not a losing nation. America's winning. As I stand here today, I can honestly say I've never been more optimistic about America's future in my whole career. We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. I'm serious.
So this is at a rally, in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think this is after the debate. But yeah, doesn't look good right here either. trying to be fiery, all this, that, and the third. Man, come on, man. Let this dude just stop. Let this dude just stop. Alrighty. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Yeah, tonight went by fast. That's right, Black on Site. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining. We got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls because I know you guys have a lot to say about the debate. I know you guys want to give your 2 cents about that. So I got a few supers here. I'm going to read those. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Thank you to Michael D'Angelo, who says, simulate these outcomes. Trump versus Newsom, Trump versus Clinton. 2, Trump versus Oprah. PS delivery content. You two help to make America great again. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Apple Blocker, I'll Puff Daddy, who says, you think Michelle Obama going to replace Mr. Biden? Michelle don't want to do it. They've already approached her to do this, and she don't want to do it. If anything, going to be Gavin Newsom. Thank you to Apple again, who says, will Community vote Miss Obama for president? I mean, whoever the Democrat is, they're going to vote for him for the most part, unfortunately. I've said it once and I'll say it again to the community, to the black community. Either you're going to be going forward or you're going to be left. And it's simple, man. They're already trying to get you out of the inner cities. They already evacuating you from Atlanta. Okay, you in Jackson, Mississippi. Listen, man, they're going to get you out of there. You're going to be going back to the rural environment. Ain't going to be no more city living for you. You can't afford it. You're not going to be able to afford it. You're going to have to go back to the country and live out there and figure out a way to get educated and things of this nature. It ain't going to be no more city living. That's done. So either you're going to just get with us and go with us, or you're going to be left. You're going to be shipped out of your city, and you're going to be in some random little small town shucking corn when it's all said and done. It is what it is. Apple Blocker Off Path Daddy says, ABL, you street smart, do political ads on TV work. Political ads on TV work for those who... Political ads is kind of like marketing. So you're aware of the person, and you need to have that in combination with some local efforts. So if you think that Democrats are going to be the right thing for you because you just think that way, and you keep seeing the Democrat on TV, you know what to do when it comes time to vote. You do that because you've been alerted by the marketing. If you are a person who votes on issues and not party affiliation, political ads can work because they can push a particular issue that you are interested in. And as you're watching it, you can tend to believe it, maybe do your own independent research. That's the main thing. So political ads do work, but it all depends on who's receiving it. It's not going to be 100% effective rate, obviously, because political ads don't work for me. But for some, they are going to work. It just depends on the situation. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, do you think a Trump-Rubio ticket would be the Democrats' worst nightmare? A recent article says they would get a lot of the Hispanic vote. That's a really good point. I think that might be a good ticket because of the Hispanic vote. A lot of Hispanics, they're going to be swing voters. A lot of them are conservative. We're not talking about people that just want to get checks all the time. Yeah, they're coming from a foreign country, unless it's just, a criminal migrant. They want to come over here and work right. Again, unless they're a criminal, coming over here doing whatever they want to do. But there's classes of people that come over here, people that come the right way and the wrong way. Thank you to Level Drone for your super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you to Tony Hay Monkits, who says you gifted 5 ABL membership. Thank you for that. Thank you to Craig Johnson for the thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Scripture Shores, who says, nice work, ABL. Trump won debate. Pray for USA. Right on. Shout out to you. Thank you to Rita's Lover, who says, love from the Butler fam, ABL. You're doing awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate y'all for watching. Shout out to Zedatus Kingsword, who says, I'm liking my bill. I got the ill communication. All right. So shout out to you guys for the super chats. I really appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that has been watching tonight, and also those who came in on the Thursday stream and Sunday stream and Wednesday stream. Now let's get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description, so you can call in that way. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me, blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. All righty, let's go ahead and get Skype cracking. If it's going to load, there we go. Let's get Skype loaded and let's keep on going. Give me a second here to get my sound together. All right, there we go. 561, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All righty, what's going on?
Is this Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I got a little bit of an echo on my end. I don't know if you do. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That should go away. Do you have me on in the background?
No, I turned it off.
Okay, that echo should go away.
I'm Bumblebee 815. I've been following you. I can't even believe I got through. I have just one thing to say that is something I noticed the other day before the debate. There was something on MSNBC or whatever about, I live in South Florida. I'm in Trump country. And every week, I got the guys out there, all the Trumpers over I-95, waving their flags, Trump, Trump, Trump. I beat my horn and I flash my lights, and I got people next to me who give me the middle finger. I don't care. They were out there over there, supporting him, and I saw some of the comments, and a lot of them were like, oh, trailer trash, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, really? We're here in South Florida. Have you seen some of the boat parades, what they did the other day for him for his birthday? And, these regattas that they got going on over in Tampa, all over the place. I'm sorry. Trailer trash don't own Sea Rays and Contenders, okay? I don't know who these elite people think they are, but that's why I wanted to call in, because I'm getting really aggravated with that. And I think that these elite, Democrats, who do they think they are? Crazy.
I mean, I agree with you on that. They just want to attack people because they don't like them. They disagree, so they want to call names, all this and that and the third. But, that's just ignorant people doing what they do, so I don't pay them too much attention.
Yeah, well, we're down here. I support them. Like I said, I'm in South Florida. I live in Broward, but I work in Palm Beach County. And, I'm all the way Trump. He did a great job the other night. He composed himself. Biden was a total you-know-what show. And I'm worried. I'm worried about what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but, I'm all for Trump. We need him back. We need him back big time.
Right on. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking my call. I'm nervous. I can't believe I even got through. Thank you. Take care, ABL. I watch you all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes. Hi, ABL. First off, I want to go ahead and say that it's been your show. I love watching you, and great job that you're doing. I wanted to point out something which I found really funny is, how they keep saying, like you said earlier, about American, African American, or anything else like that. And I wanted to say that, sometimes I've gotten real frustrated in the past because, me, I'm a white American, but my family's from Ireland. And so, I have that cultural background, but I call it myself Irish American, but I find it funny because I agree with you. You're only American. You don't have the African background. And so, but I have the cultural difference there. And so I always find it funny when other Americans like, oh yeah, I'm Irish, but it's like 5 generations, 6 generations down. I'm like, nah, sorry, you're just American, right?
That's right.
But I'm from LA originally, but it's not uncommon for foreigners to be there and have kids there that are one or both your parents are a foreigner or you're a foreigner yourself. And I was in the same boat. where one of my parents were a foreigner. And I find it funny, though, these days, because I got 3 kids. Now, their mother is not American. Now, I would sit there and say that they don't have the Irish background like I do. But my wife, she's from an Asian country, so I just call them, Asian Americans. But they're still very American. But I find it funny, a lot of people find that lost in their background, or they seem to try to identify with something. But it's crazy to me, especially if you're white, which my wife had to learn, was they just automatically put you in a corner because, white American, dumb, whatever. And then, black Americans will put them in like, Africans and Asian people, like, even if I've seen it where they're 3 generations, 4 generations down, and it's like, oh, that's still a Chinese kid. I'm like, no, that's an American. It's like they don't have any ties to China or Japan or Thailand or Vietnam or any of those countries. And, I just find that hilarious that Democrats still try to put people in those boxes. But it's the same thing like how Tucker Carlson was talking about the great replacement theory with the other reporter. He wasn't saying white Americans are trying to be replaced. He was saying that Americans were trying to be replaced. And that goes Asian Americans. And we're not even, when I say Irish American, we're talking nationality. There's a difference between nationality and race. A lot of people don't even understand that. And when it comes to nationality and race, I can say my nationality origins are from Ireland, but I'm a white American. It's like the whole China virus thing, and people say, oh, that's racist. Well, no, my kids are not even half Chinese. It's like you look at them, they're Asian. That's what they are, and it's like for you to assume, and Democrats do this all the time, they're assuming they're probably Chinese. Like, no, that's racist. Same thing with Latinos, right? In Latino America. You got Argentinians, you got Guatemalans, you got, people from Venezuela. I would dare somebody call a Guatemalan a Mexican. They're not going to be happy about that. And not only that, like even if you go to Peru, it's very mixed with a lot of like Japanese and Chinese. Because even if you look at a dish like lomos latados, it's rice, fries, stir fry with beef. It's delicious, by the way. But my point is, it's yeah, you're an American, and I think some people need to understand and realize what's nationality, what's race. And, if you've been here like generations, like Tucker Carlson said, where people have been here like 300-400 years, you're just American.
Right. Exactly. Right on point, man. Well, thank you for your call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Well, just wanted to say, okay, I'm not going to talk about the debate so much because we all saw the big train wreck that it was, but for Biden, but I noticed the tactic that it seems like the DNC media, like MS-13 DNC and some out there in the left and the Biden campaign are trying to pull now. Mika Brzezinski especially said it on Morning Joe. That he just had a bad night, calm down, relax, had a bad night. That's what they're trying to say. He had a bad night. He's not permanently, declining cognitively or anything like that. He just had a bad night, and then they try, and of course you have the cold, but I don't remember the symptoms of the cold being loss of memory, face dropping with the jaw open, and such symptoms like that. I don't know. I'll have to check the medical journals to see if they updated it with those symptoms. But the thing about it is, saying he had a bad night, and then they have that rally where he's yelling and beating the podium and trying to say, I think they're trying to reinforce that. See, it was just a bad night. Here's the real Joe right here. Well, why didn't the real Joe show up for the debate then?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. $1 million question right there.
Yeah. Where was that Joe Biden? It is a thing too. It is the down ticket candidates that they're all terrified of too. And not only that, especially after the performance, the big money Democrat donors, they see that terrible performance and saying, I got to put my money behind this. Oh, heck, I might as well take it and throw it in the fire and burn it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and there goes the donations. But at any rate, that's the thing. They're trying to say, that was just a bad night for Joe. This is what he's really like and all. And You know, I mean, I could, you know, I find somebody selling the Brooklyn Bridge for $3 to be more believable than that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go. I know a lot of other people want to talk about the biggest train wreck in history. So I'll let you go and have a good night.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
You too.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. And the phone lines are jumping, so please be patient. I will try to get to you guys ASAP. But shout out to you guys for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. 832, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Strata.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, all I wanted to say is when Trump had the chance to go after Hillary for her alleged crimes and Hunter Biden, he made a mistake by not holding them accountable, and now it's coming back to bite him in a way that he didn't maybe perceive, or it kind of sucks, but, you know.
So how is it coming back to bite him? How would, if he would have gone after Hillary Clinton, for example, how would that help him now?
It probably wouldn't have, but the whole thing, I still look at it as accountable for your actions. Just because these individuals are in politics or in higher levels of power, they should be held higher and to higher levels of standards. Like when I was in the Navy, we were held pretty strictly to higher levels of standards than even our local law enforcement and police department were. And I don't think it's fair to, you know, I've heard you say before, rules for thee, not for me. Especially if you're in politics or anything where your money, your income is coming from taxpayers, you should be held to a high level of standard. There should be no exception. There should be no passing the buck. We'll let this DUI slide because you're a mayor, a governor, or whoever.
Right on.
But that's really all I wanted to say. I hope you have a good day, man. It's actually pretty cool to be able to talk to you.
Likewise, man. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great calls tonight. And let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 424. You're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Kelly Silverman calling from Los Angeles. Well, how y'all doing tonight? Patriots in the chat.
It's all good. Can't complain.
It's all good. First things first, I want to say congrats on the 10,000. You had 10K watching the night of the debate. I don't know if you've ever seen that number. That was the first time of me seeing a number like that for you. And I just want to say congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay, so, just a couple of things I wanted to hit on. I saw people saying even if Joe was asleep, they'd still vote for him. And I said, damn, the Democrats have done a hell of a job at brainwashing some of y'all. Even if he was up there asleep, they would still vote for him. You know, I think it's like a sad day, but we won that night. And I really think that that's all that counts. You know, I have a Photoshop picture up on my profile, and it's of me and Trump. And so somebody said, are you a Trump supporter? I said, you know what? I'm a conservative supporter. I said, so no matter who was in that spot, whether it's Trump, whether it's DeSantis, whether it's Vivek, I'm going to be on that stance because I'm a conservative. And that's the stance that I've been taking because, you know, all this like Trump this, Trump that. No, I'm a conservative. So I'm always going to swing that way. You know, so I just kind of wanted to, mention that I get riled up about it. And another thing I wanted to say, even if Gavin runs, because, you know, that's my governor here in Los Angeles, even if he runs, who do you think would be his running mate?
I have no idea. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking who would be his running mate? And one last thing I wanted to say was that the Dems have done so poorly. When you got the women on The View talking about Joe needs to step down and we took a bad one with this one, when you have them, even them, saying stuff like that, do you think the Dems will be like, you know what, let's bow out gracefully. Let's let them have this for the next 4 years, and they'll come back strong in 2028. Or do you think they're really going to pull a rabbit out of their hat?
They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to try any means necessary to get to their desired location. So I don't put anything past them.
Oh, you don't? So you still think they're going to try?
They're going to try to do whatever they can to succeed. But if they're going to be successful or not, that's the question.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because I wonder if Gavin is ready to debate Trump on how he's running California. That's all. Like, how is Gavin going to answer those questions about our homelessness, our dirtiness, our drug use? So California is, it's sunny California, but California is scandalous. I've lived here for 42 years now, and it's not what it used to be. So I just wonder, I'm like, how are you going to debate Trump on that? Are you ready for that? So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. So I just tell everybody in the chat, stay strong and celebrate the win that we had this past debate. And I'm out.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Great calls from you guys. Shout out to y'all. And the phone lines are blowing up. Let's keep on going. And let's go 707 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, I'm Susie.
All righty. We got a little bit of noise in the background.
Oh, well, I'll shut it off. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I was calling because I think it was a really bad idea that Trump did the debate because I think he just fell into a trap, a really big trap. And if you notice that Jake Tapper and the Dana Bash lady or whatever, it was the only time that I ever seen them not give Trump a hard time, and they were pretty even in the debate. And that's because they were setting Joe Biden up because they're going to put somebody else in there, and all the Democrats are going to be really stoked out to vote for somebody else, and they're going to win. That's what I think is going to happen, and I think we just fell into a trap. So thank you. Bye.
Thank you for the call. Now, I got to respond to what she was saying. I don't think that that's going to have that, because how weak do you look as a Democratic Party if you got to replace the candidate right in the middle of the election? That doesn't look good. It makes people think, like, if it's me and I was on that side and they just replaced the guy in the middle of the thing, and I've been seeing him act the same way the whole time, I'd be like, man, y'all don't really get it together. So, but I could see how her point can be interpreted by people. 843, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Because how weak do you look at
ABL?
What's happening?
It's Rocco in South Carolina. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Man, I saw you with the debate live, man. That was great. Good job, man. Congrats on all the views coming in.
Thank you.
Look, man, I gotta say about the debate, man, what can you say? Let's go, Brandon. But look, man, look, I gotta be real, man. Yeah, I think a lot of people know that was a slam dunk for Trump. However, I think if there's another debate, and we still don't know what's going to happen July 11th, we all have to keep that in mind right now, because that was even brought up. And I don't know if you probably alluded to it, maybe you didn't, but Joe said you got a lot more coming down the line too. So they already have a plan. I don't know what it is. It's been dirty. It's been dirty since the day he came down the escalator. We all know that. All Trump supporters, all the followers, we all know about that. So, let's all cross our fingers. Let's hope for the best. But I just didn't know if you, I know you're very good in politics. I didn't really get into politics much until Trump ran. I said, let's go down a rabbit hole a little bit. But do you know, or does anybody actually know who the first independent president was?
I don't.
George Washington was the first independent president who was elected. Now, the other one is the actual president, technically, who the first president was John Hanson, who was elected in 1781. George Washington ran from 1789 to 1797. So technically, even though we've all been brought up, George Washington was the number one president, the only independent that I know of, unless, I didn't research this too much, John Hanson technically was the first president, and that was under the United States in Congress assembled under the Article of the Confederation. So the only thing I have to say about independent, which as of I think March 2021, the Libertarian Party is another name for it. They have like 700,000 plus as far as possibly independent voters. I like Kennedy. I know you do too. I think his policies are great. I think he's on point on a lot of things. I just wish he had a voice like John F. Kennedy did. I wish he had. I think the only thing it's lacking with him is, and I hate to say that because, I mean, you look at Biden when the debate started out, they said, oh, he's got a cold. You heard how weak he sounded. He sounded very weak and everything, but we all know that. And finally, he's been exposed for what he really is. They can't hide him in the basement no more. They can't hide him from the press anymore. They can't say he can't answer any questions anymore. He's been exposed. This is why the fake news organizations and MSNBC and all these guys are backpedaling now, and they're freaking out because now he's been exposed. They can't cover for him anymore. Okay, so this is what they've been trying to hide, and honestly, I don't know what it would take. I think anybody that can come in democratically wise and have, be able to complete a sentence and make half amount of sense on any kind of issue, even if it is Gavin Newsom, I think that the Democrats have something up their sleeve. Everybody in here knows about Trump. We all love Trump. We want Trump. It's what it's come down to, ABL, and I think you agree with this, the two-party system. It's come down to just the system. The system isn't working anymore. The two-party system isn't working anymore. What it's coming down to right now, and I think what everybody in this room needs to understand, we are going against the establishment right now. The American people, we don't have a say anymore. They do what they say. Just like when we are all forced to do what we did during COVID.
Right on.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Right on. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got a lot of calls on online, man. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate it.
All right, look, ABL, I love you. Keep it up. And everybody in this chat, awesome. I love you. Keep going.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 661, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Angie. Hi, I finally got through.
Well, I'm glad you got through. What's going on?
Hi, ABL. I'm good. Okay, so I watched the debate. I always watch your lives, but I did watch the debate the other day. It was Thursday, I think, yeah. And it was a debate where I was actually surprised that the moderators were so calm and allowed Trump, they didn't try to really treat him really bad. And I also think like the lady, it was a bit of a bait. However, I don't think like it was for a trap, but I think that they did it because Joe Biden does not have it, he's just not competent to, or his cognitive is just so bad. His cognitive is so bad. So, but I thought it was okay. Biden, I don't see how he's going to be able to. I'm not a Biden fan at all. I'm a Black American. I'm not a Biden fan at all. And I just feel so bad because when I see Black people really be voting for him, I'm like, you guys are just so ridiculous. You don't even see what's happening. But definitely, it was a good debate. And Trump, it'll be a shocker if he doesn't win the election. But I believe they will try to replace Biden. And they were talking about bringing in Michelle Obama, and I was like, what is she going to do? I mean, what can she do for anybody? If she doesn't want to run and she comes in at the last minute, I mean, she's kind of like, she's showing that she can't even, she's not able to really be a president, the one that she wants to be, because if someone has to pull you out of it and say, hey, come here, come do as I tell you to do. So it would be interesting if Gavin Newsom ran, because I do prefer him as a Democrat president over Joe Biden. Joe Biden is more of a he's very much into race politics, and especially using the immigrant, the whole immigration thing, show that he doesn't even care about Black people at all. So that's just his way. He doesn't have to say it, but it's based on his actions. But yeah, that's where I stand. That Biden was for immigrants, for immigration, and that really hurt the Black community. So Trump, he's not going to bring in a lot of people, but he won't make laws to hurt Black people. So it'll be very interesting what's going to happen with the next debate, and how things will move forward for the election. But thank you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you. All right. Great call. Shout out to you guys. You guys are on fire tonight. I appreciate all the good calls, all the good feedback. Okay, I guess I answered a little bit too late on that one. Let's keep on going. Let's go. You're on line speaker to 617.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
Yes, I want to make a comment about the debate. I know the debate wasn't Biden didn't look good at all. I believe that, he just probably was overwhelmed and the preparation, they were given too much information. As other candidates, the Democratic candidates, they are very detail-orientated, and he cannot be detail-orientated because he's older, and, he can't perform as he was when he was younger. But Trump has a horrible debate also. He didn't debate anything. It wasn't really a debate.
So how was it? How was it not a debate? I mean, he was giving. They asked him questions and he answered the questions. So I don't understand.
Well, the question that they asked is like if I ask you what time it is, and you ask me, no, I took the bus from New York to New Jersey. That's not an answer.
Well, no. Sometimes if they felt like he was not answering the question directly, they would re-answer the question, and ultimately he would. Excuse me. I'm done. Not done talking. And ultimately, he would answer the question the way that they wanted. So, again, I don't really see what you're talking about.
Okay, let me give you an example. When they asked him, he said he was going to deport all the illegal immigrants. He said that before. They was going to round them up, and then they asked him, how are you going to do that? He started talking about the border because when he was there, the border was so secure. They didn't, and then they asked him three times he failed. They asked him about January 6th.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Before we move on. Now, as far as the border, he had everything fine before Biden came in. Biden opened the border through executive order. So all you got to do is just go back to the same policies that Trump had while he was there. The migrant crisis did not exist during Trump. Were there illegal aliens coming in? Excuse me. Not done. Were there illegal aliens? Yes, sure. Was there a crime? Yes, sure. But nothing like what we have right now with the actual migrant crisis going on. This is a thing that happened under the Biden administration. But go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. You look like him. That wasn't the question. The question was how you going to deport those who are here illegally? He said they was going to go because when he was there, the border was closed and he was safe, blah, blah, blah. But he's going to have to deal with the problem that is now on the table now.
Well, the problem on the table now is the migrant crisis is the migrants keep coming in. So excuse me. The first thing you do is you just shut the border off. Now, as far as deportation, I mean, I don't know. Like, if somebody gets in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, not done. Now, excuse me, not done. Just stop talking. Now, what somebody could do is somebody gets in trouble and they are not here legally. Now, okay, let's let ICE kick in, and then we can go through the deportation process. But the first thing is to get the border shut down. So go on to your next point.
Okay, so you answer your own question.
So go on to the next point.
Okay, so my next question was asking about January 6th. He said, how come, people want to get confident that doesn't happen again? He said that, well, the border was closed when he was there, and now the border is open. Then he was talking about Kim Jong-un. Then he was talking about President should respect him. That's not what they asked him. Let me go back to
no, actually, wait, no. You said I let you speak. You said January 6th. He didn't give any answer on that. Now, I seem to recall Trump talking about, well, Nancy Pelosi said on audio and video that it was her fault because she did not approve the deployal of the National Guard. And also excuse me, she said it. She said it on so she didn't say it. She said it on camera.
That's just not true.
Okay, after we get done with the phone call, I'll pull it up and then people can see it for themselves. Don't believe me, just believe what the video says. It's her on the video saying it. Anyway, then there was the mayor. There might have been Stephanie Rawlings Blake, whoever that was, or it might be the person having there now. Said that they were not going to approve more police officers. So you have Trump saying, "Hey, let's get more security, more National Guard, more police." But they didn't do it. Now, maybe if excuse me, not done.
Okay, no.
I'm making my point. You can't overtalk me. I'll just mute you. Can't nobody hear you at all. If you're talking right now, I can't hear you. Now, the solution would be to not have another January 6th or anything like that. You just provide the requested National Guard and the police the same thing that he did in 2020 that was not approved. That's why you had Nancy Pelosi taking ownership of her lack of giving the proper security for the event. It's very simple. But what's your next point?
Okay, ABL. I'm 51 years old. I'm gonna be 52 years old. I've been watching politics in 1996. You were a gamer. I know you're doing this because of YouTube. Are you there?
I'm listening.
Hello? Okay, so you're going to tell me that the President of the United States make a phone call to the general that they need help and he gets denied? Are you... I mean, I don't like to call you dumb.
That's what they said.
You insulted my
I mean, but listen. Is Ivan the person I got to go to for any kind of opinion? Like, is your word bond? If the people that are in charge are saying, like, if you're talking, listen, you know what's funny about this show? I could just mute you and nobody can hear you. I can't hear you either. If I turn you up right now and you're still talking, they can hear you. But I could just turn you right back down and nobody can hear you. Anyway, as I was saying, all I can go off is what they said. I mean, Trump said it and Nancy Pelosi said it. Both sides of the aisle saying the same thing. So what makes Ivan the arbiter of truth? What makes you the person that knows what they don't know? Both sides are saying the same exact thing. All sides are saying the same exact thing. There was a request and then there was a denial. So what makes you the person that knows better than everybody else involved with the whole situation? Obviously, there was security needed for that event because you're going to have all kinds of people in this area at one time and things could have went left. Antifa already had a presence in Washington, D.C. long before January 6th. Then there's going to be some angry Americans. You're going to have some federales in there, some rabble-rousers, people that want to see the country go down. So you should have had more security. It was denied. What's your next point?
You didn't even make no sense, but I want to move on.
Okay, what's your next point?
You cannot receive the position, but I want to move on because you didn't make no sense.
Okay, what's your next point?
You could. Let me explain to you really short. You could tell that to your audience, but you could never.
All right. So what's your next point?
But that's right. That's right. So when the question that they're asking about inflation, that he said that Biden created the inflation, this is false because the inflation was created by the supply chain. Biden said it, but he didn't say it correctly. He was mumbling. He was like looked like he was confused, but he did say it was because the supply chain that it was true, because the supply chain affected worldwide. Remember, Japan have an inflation of 22%. Germany have an inflation of 14%. I mean, from Mexico to South America, all those countries have a high inflation over 10%, higher than the United States inflation. And the inflation has been reduced now from 8.3% in 2021 when he took over. Now it's 3%. So and then Biden and then Trump said that he has the best economy. Not true. The best economy is being under Biden, according to the Labor Department. I'm giving you the data.
Okay, that's fine.
Give me your opinion.
That's great. So you're telling me that the economy now under Biden is better than under Trump?
Yeah, because I created more jobs. The labor market created more jobs.
Cool.
50 million point 8 jobs.
All right. That's great. That's great. And that'd be a great time for you to end your call. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. We don't got all night. Let's go to 915. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Melissa from El Paso, Texas.
All righty. What's going on?
Hi, ABL. So I just wanted to point out on the debate that it amazes me how many people just lack common sense, especially in my city, because they say that both candidates are trash when in reality, our city is being dumped with immigrants. And just for them to think that, like, why would you, think both candidates are trash? Pretty much we need a strong president to protect our borders, especially here in El Paso, Texas. And also, I find it kind of sad that President Biden has top of the line best doctors, and for him to be in that condition, does that make any kind of sense? And also, I just wanted to point out, like, Jill Biden kind of reminds me of those QVC, spokespeople who like to sell things. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
All right, great call. And yeah, Jill Biden does have that QVC marm vibe for sure. Definitely QVC. So shout out to QVC. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. 407 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. It's Sharice. How are you?
It's all good, Sharice. What's going on?
Okay, I really wanted to know, have you read about Project 2025? Because when people find out that I support Trump, they like bring it up now, and then like they try to use it against me. I tried to read up on it, but I don't really understand it as much. So have you done your research on it? And if not, will you talk about it on your page?
I mean, I've looked into it a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you what's going on. So basically, in a nutshell, Project 2025, it's like the strategy of the incoming Republican Party. So in 2025, when they come in after Biden, they're going to do certain things to make the country go forward better. It's just basically a plan for the next administration. That's all, like a transitional plan. But what's probably happening is you got people talking about this in a scary way on TikTok, spreading misinformation and fear. So then when people hear Republican Party that you're talking to, they probably saw something about Project 2025 on TikTok that scared them, and they don't even understand what's going on. All they know is it's scary and it's racist, and I don't want to be a part of it. And if you ask...
Yeah, they're using it as like a fear-mongering tactic. Like they're trying to scare me into not voting for him, but it's just like, okay, I voted for him in 2020. So you guys can't scare me into not voting for somebody just because of one thing.
Right, exactly. So the next time somebody asks you about that, ask them the question, like, what have you heard about it? Like, why is that a thing that scares you? Or why is that a thing that is preventing you from voting for Trump? Like, what have you heard? Ask them what they heard. And you probably get, they're probably going to say, I don't know. All they saw was something scary on TikTok, and now they don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yes. Are you going to talk about it on your page? Because I really think you should do a video on it to like break it down. I think that would help.
I'll look more into it, and I think that could be a good video just to put it out there, because like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of misinformation on social media, TikTok especially. So I got to counteract it to get the real information out there.
Okay. And last, what were you going to say?
No, I was done. Go ahead.
I was going to say, last request, blow me a kiss or give me a wink or something. You have to do it.
All right, I got you.
Okay. I don't know if you did it or not because this computer is slow, but yes, do that. Do that for me. I'm going to blow you one too. Bye.
All right, now. All right, shout out to Sharice. Shout out to you guys. You guys are hilarious. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 504. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All righty, man. What's going on?
All right. Great calls. I'm really enjoying the show, and I enjoyed your coverage on the debate. As I predicted, Trump did excellent.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. He did amazing, and then he did even better with the contrast of Biden doing so poorly.
Absolutely. And also, I think he did great with conversing with Ivan. And, yeah, I understand why he thinks the way he does, and because under Trump the economy was very good, and Joe Brandon, I think, completely decimated the economy. And towards the end, right by when he's about to be reelected, it seemed to get better. Like, it seems like a political tactic, but I do think he basically messed everything up. And I also want to say that I saw the RFK thing, because I saw that he did it like a virtual debate where he debated the two other people and on his own area, and was broadcasted on X. And basically he had good points. He had interesting things to say. And so the reason why he wasn't in the main debate was because he didn't have the right credentials to be there, but he said he did have the right credentials, and he thinks that CNN is rigging stuff against him, so he can't like go be in the debate. But yeah, it would have been very interesting to have seen him there.
Yeah, I mean, but I just think that they know that it's down to just these two guys. I mean, they could talk about, wanting to have it open to more people, but really the American people are not really going to vote for a third party for the president. So they just want to have it down to the two guys.
Absolutely, because I think what he could have done was he could have, like, in some alternate scenario, or maybe if I know he's a little bit older, but in the future, hypothetically, he could have gone through one of the two major parties and done it that way. I think that would have been a better strategy than the way he's doing it, in my opinion.
Right, of course.
Yeah. And also, I think that, Trump made good points about the border. He's been saying a lot about how they're letting all kinds of, people from Asia and Africa and these different countries in that we don't know who they are, and people from the Middle East, some of the terrorist type people, bringing them in. And it's a threat to national security. And I think, even the recent presidents of past would have been against America being threatened by terrorism. And I do wonder who's really behind Joe Brandon, because he's he's not there. Like, somebody else is controlling it, and they seem extremely farther left than anybody I've seen in recent times.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that it's just the whole DC establishment behind him, whoever they can't get in the White House to be there. Obviously his caretaker, Jill, the wife, anybody that's there, just try to take care of him. They're going to put him in a position to do that.
Right. And also another thing is that yesterday on my live stream, I was talking about the debate, and I was mentioning that Putin in recent times, he's talks about the nuclear weapons often. I don't know if he's going to really use them, but he talks about them, and I understand he feels his country is threatened. But if it would be good if, like, Trump was in there, and these other countries that, like China and these different places that are trying to threaten other countries' sovereignty or cause problems in warfare, or NATO specifically, all these conflicts that are going on in the world, Trump would be a strong leader where these other leaders wouldn't try to go and do these other things.
Right on. Absolutely.
Right. Because when you have a weak leader like Biden, he just causes a lot of, issues, and he makes our country look weak.
Yeah, he really does. And we can't have that type of image out there to the world, because it's going to attract a lot of unwanted attention.
Right. In my opinion, no matter who was put in there, if they took Biden out, which they very well may do, I think that the Democrats clearly see that their situation is very bad, and it's not going to work out for them. And they're even criticizing him, as you showed. I'm glad that you showed the news articles and the videos of it. And yeah, so it's basically an avalanche that's happening, and it's a very big win for our side.
Right on. Absolutely.
Okay, ABL. That's all to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to Alien Spaceship for the call. Most certainly appreciate them. We get a whole lot more calls on the line. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. 928, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh my gosh. I'm slightly kind of, all right, hold on, let me get out of the room. You know how it goes. All right, so ABL, dude, you are so awesome. I just want to start with that. I used to be a liberal. All my extended family is from New Mexico, and I live on the eastern shore of Maryland, and I used to hate Trump. I thought he was a racist, and you were able to really open my eyes to the truth, and I can't thank you enough for that. But I basically just wanted to get your take on something. I was listening to Charlie Kirk, and he was talking about how basically, the Democrats are in a really tough position. A lot of people are concerned about these people being swapped in for Biden, but there's a major problem. You already talked about Michelle. She doesn't want to do it, and that's very clear. She has Obama's legacy, that she could, mess up. She has sorry, I didn't think I'd get through today. Yeah, so she's taken this is a very challenging time to be taking office, and so she doesn't have a whole lot of experience in that realm. Gavin Newsom and Hillary Clinton, I think, would be very interesting, but I think a major problem is that they're white, and I think that Kamala Harris seems that she does not want to step down, and so she's going to say, what makes you guys think that you can just leapfrog over me? And I don't think that will fare very well for that. Another person that I think that people aren't really talking about, and I've actually seen their name on, I believe it's Bet Online, where you can bet on politics. Oprah Winfrey. I don't think people talk about her enough, but I think that there's a good chance that they could pull her into the race because she just has that star power and kind of has a business background similar to Trump. But yeah, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to hear your take on all that.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All righty, take care.
Yeah, good call. I mean, Oprah, I've been hearing about Oprah. I thought Oprah might want to do it. I think Oprah and Michelle Obama are in the same position. I don't think they really want to do it. 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. How's everything going tonight?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Nothing much. I watched the debate when it came on TV when I was at work, and I could not understand a word Joe Biden was saying at all. Look, now I'm stuttering.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. Terrible.
Yeah, it's just I honestly, my opinion, I think it was a good thing Trump went to the debate, because then they would have tried to push a narrative if he never showed up.
Right, of course.
And my thing is, like I said last time when I called in, Donald Trump, he has people who voted for him back in 2016 and 2020, voting for him again in 2024 with a few more supporters leaving the Democrat side to go vote for him. And if the people on Joe Biden's side, the Democrats, they basically said they're not going to vote at all, then at this point, but then again, they're still going to have a whole smear campaign against Donald Trump. They're going to find ways to keep him out of office. It's not over yet. We got to make it to November.
That's right. Absolutely.
And one guy who I know who likes Donald Trump, he said, man, this is a victory. It's a landslide right now. He getting all excited. I said, hey, don't get your excitement up. Don't get your hopes up too much. Because you got to remember, we still got until November. We can't just let up on the gas right now. We got to keep pushing forward all the way to November. And on top of that, you don't want to underestimate your opponents, because you got to remember, they still probably got so much dirt and smear campaigns, ways to keep them away from office. So,
absolutely.
Go ahead.
I was agreeing with you. I say absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why I was telling him, basically, don't get too excited, and you just gotta hope for the best and just play your part. Vote on November 3rd. Just vote in person, and then we'll just let the election system play out. Hopefully not what happened in 2020, which we all witnessed, where Joe Biden won the election, quote unquote. But pretty much, yeah, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to add. And thanks for taking my call tonight, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You have a good night.
Same to you. All right, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. All right, let's go 773, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's a retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for squeezing my call in. You know, they've tried everything they could to keep Trump off the ballot, to put Trump in prison, to lock him up. It has all backfired. They have done their due diligence, the left and the Democrats, but the left, to try to get Trump out of the race, and they could not do that. Now they put all their eggs in Biden's basket, and they have tried and tried to make him look under the best light that they possibly can, and he has failed that. It may be the fact that I'm just a cynical old copper because I've seen many, many murders and reasons for murder and everything else. And if I may, ABL, many people agree that the movie Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 may be the best back-to-back movies in the history of movie making. But Godfather 3 was about this very thing where they had the Pope. This is real life. Remember the Pope that only lasted about 48 hours?
Yeah.
That's what the Godfather 3 is about the Vatican and the Pope. And within that story is the true story of that one. I don't know, his name was John Paul, whatever name he was. He was the Pope that only lasted 48 hours. In real life, that Pope was talking about reforming the Vatican Bank and everything else, and the mafia in Sicily had their hands in the Vatican, and priests and whatnot had power, all the land that they owned, and that Pope said the wrong things, said he was going to go against the mafia and go against some of these things with the Vatican Bank, and he never was able to be, even though he was voted Pope, and he was Pope for, lunch, dinner, and by, the next morning he was dead. I'm going to see if the left is going to play this out like some kind of Italian opera. And you just have the headline, because you won't need a big assassination. With his age, just like the Pope, with his age, you could do it quietly. President Biden died in his sleep, blah, blah, blah. And now your problem is solved. And I'm going to see if that's going to happen, because they're getting down to their last hopes. It's hard to come up with an excuse why Biden is stepping aside. He may be able to say illness, this, that, he started over, but it doesn't look like that's happening. Otherwise, you would have never engaged in this debate. I found it entertaining to stay on CNN and to watch their pundits realize he didn't do well. And they were all complaining. I found it very entertaining. But, my cynical policeman side says, I wonder if he's just going to come up, passed away in his sleep peacefully. There'll never be an investigation, and they'll never solve it. They'll never say, giving him some of these medications that he probably takes at night for, bladder and high blood pressure and this and that and all the things that elderly people take, and he just passes away. But he passed away because you gave him some kind of dose of something, and he's dead. We're going to see if it goes that far. I'd like to hear what you think about that scenario, ABL. And I had to put the Godfather in there because, of course, I'm Italian. But, I'm wondering what you think about that, ABL, because I see that maybe coming next. I don't see any other solution than actually letting Biden run. I just think with the performance that he did, with the state that he's in, and how he's been for the last year or so, that he can even have a shot at winning. And I don't think they could put up with that. And I think they may even sacrifice him for the cause to be able to legitimately put somebody else in there without making him look bad. And they may have given him a chance and different chances in private just step aside or say this or say that, and it's not happening. And he may just be deleted, as they say. And we'll see what happens. But I'm sure it won't be dramatic. Nobody's going to come out and shoot him, and all that. They'll just pass away overnight. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, ABL. Thanks for taking my call. Thanks to everybody in chat, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. Very good call. And that'll be a wrap for me. I'm sorry. I know I got a lot of calls still on the line, but y'all have me here all night. I got to go ahead and wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you heard tonight, if you enjoyed tonight's show, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But thank you guys for being here. Shout out to everybody in the chat, watching, retweeting, super chatting, doing whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Shout out to the mods keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate that as well. But that will be a wrap from me. I think I have a handful of super chats I have not read yet. I believe I have some. Shout out to J-Man MVK for gifting the membership. Thank you to Dennis Kane Sword for gifting 5 memberships. And shout out to HSG, who says, who do you think Trump should pick for VP? I think Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't see anybody better that's come out. I'm hearing rumors about Doug Burgum. I guess that could be a good candidate. He's a good governor of, North Dakota. Very well respected. Not going to be trying to get a lot of attention in the limelight. So that could be a good pick as well. But I think out of the people that I've seen perform, Vivek was the best. But it could be a Doug Burgum or something like that. If somebody said, floated the idea of Marco Rubio to get the Hispanic population, that's a possibility. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Okay, but there's quite a few people that it could be. All right. Thank you to Ryan Walker, who says, Jill said Ivan didn't answer all the questions. And thank you to Cal Denton, who says President Joe Biden is expected to discuss the future of his reelection campaign with family on Sunday. NBC has claimed they are discussing if he should remain in the campaign. No way. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Oh, yeah, here it is. Biden to discuss future of re-election campaign with family on Sunday. Here it is right here. Oh, boy. Yikes. This was published today. And just like right during the stream, June 29th at 8:46 p.m. Wow. Yeah, that's rough. It says President Joe Biden is expected to discuss the future of his re-election campaign with family on Sunday following a nationally televised debate Thursday that left many fellow Democrats worried about his ability to beat former President Donald Trump in November, according to 5 people familiar with the matter. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Go ahead and drop out. But if you drop out, man, that's going to cause, if he drops out, that's going to open a giant family size can of worms. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a mess. Oh, man, it's going to be out of this world. But I think that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I'll be back live on Wednesday, of course. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here all throughout the week doing pre-recorded videos. Also, please subscribe to the new channel, Uncle ABL, if you have not done so already. That link will always be in the description. And, of course, you can just search for that particular channel, Uncle ABL. I will spam it in the chat here. Now, Carl Sims says it didn't answer the question. Now, you got to remind me what the answer was. My retired Chicago police officer's friend's question about, I think I did answer it, about whether Joe Biden is going to run. I think they might give him a hot shot. I don't think Joe Biden's going to make it. I don't think they need to do anything nefarious to Joe Biden. I think that he might just pop up croaked one day. I don't really see him making it too far. he could, anything could happen. He could fall. I mean, before he croaks on TV, they would try to get him out of the way. And they would just say, okay, he needs to just take some time to himself. They'd make up an excuse to put him in Shady Pines, but they wouldn't delete him. They wouldn't have him just croak on TV, nor would they delete him. I don't think they would really do that. But they do want to get him out of the way, one way or another. But they're not going to just hit him with a hot shot. I don't see that happening. That's a tad bit too extreme, and then that would kind of scare the general public. They would think that he got deleted as a result of performing poorly. That'd be very bad for your civil stability. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.